New space station nearing completion. It has been 5 years since the space station Evolution was completed and the second station announced. The International Space Station, built with the cooperation of America, Japan, the EU, Russia, and China, is finally nearing completion. Initially, it was projected to launch in 2017. Well then. In contrast to the Evolution, which is currently being used as a space laboratory, the new space station is planned for use in construction of moon bases, exploration of Mars, and the search for extraterrestrial intelligence.
With the participation of Japan and many other countries, the International Space Station, slated for completion in 2017, is nearly done. As large as a soccer stadium, this fully manned facility will be used for various types of research in a deep space environment.
Wow. Nation unified on citizen numbering system. The Administration Relations Bill has been passed with a majority vote. With this, the digitization of our government approaches its final stages. Starting this month, all local servers managed by regional governments will be frozen, and all the various ID rules used by self-governing bodies will be unified to federal government specifications. In addition, it will become required for all governing bodies to adopt the numbering system and for all citizens to wear their own number at all times for administrative purposes. Ew. This system, introduced to speed up government processes by conducting them online, is already being used in online banking, shopping, and other sites. By using a receiver placed in one's home, all Japanese citizens will be able to use their cell phones or mobile computers to access a variety of services from anywhere in the country. Yet in spite of the incredible conveniences we have today, the system has been met with severe opposition. Yeah, I wouldn't like it either. Recently, the Independent Japan Party won many seats in the lower house of the Diet because of their popular position to abandon the bill altogether. Calls for all political parties to discuss this bill are still continuing, and the problem has attracted a lot of media attention. Mr. Ko Ikuji, this stupid name, chief editor for the weekly magazine Netwatcher, had this to say: "It is true that this system will make things very convenient. When you compare the times when the bill was first approved to now, encryption technology has made huge leaps. The NAB, Network Administration Bureau, has been established and some semblance of order has been brought to the internet." Yeah, that ain't ever gonna fucking happen in the real world, my dude. "There are far fewer data leaks, and at first glance it would appear that there are no problems whatsoever." Laughs in 2026, where data breaches are like a daily issue. However, take a moment to think. In exchange for IT advancements and a more convenient lifestyle, we have been reduced to being defined by a 15-digit combination. This is no different than the ear tag placed on cows and horses to tell them apart. It's no wonder the people are so opposed to this degrading system. Despite all of this, the system has made it through the legal process and will soon be part of our lives. Will there ever come a day when we'll welcome it? No.
The Online Administration Act received a majority vote of the ruling party, meaning the adoption of the citizen numbering system seems to be inevitable. As a result, the process of converting to an electronic government has overcome its final hurdle.
Games to blame for juvenile delinquency? I love how this argument is still going to this day. Not to mention that it's been going on since I was in middle school, it's been going on since before I was probably sentient. Well, no, probably not. The 90s was kind of the big era for it, wasn't it? "I'm a hero." These are the words written on a sketchbook found in a young in a young boy's school bag. The recent outbreak of juvenile delinquency is said to be the effect of video games, according to experts. Those experts are fucking stupid. Games have far better graphics compared to novels and comics, and games are interactive. It is easy for children to see themselves as the protagonist of their favorite games. This is a dangerous phenomenon. Didn't people probably say this kind of shit too about books becoming more readily available? Also, you know what you tell your kids? Video games are not reality. That's what I got told, and it stuck. You make sure it sticks. For example, what would happen if a child were to play an extreme action game and begin to believe that he was the game's main character? You tell him, no, that's not real. He could possibly act in real life the same way he could act in a game. It frightens me just thinking about the consequences of that. This argument's so fucking stupid. No, you want to know what usually causes delinquency? Broken homes! And I don't mean divorced parents. I mean like an unstable home environment. It's surprising I didn't turn out to be a delinquent. There are several cases of parents of both game-influenced assailants and their victims suing game companies, claiming they are responsible for making their children into criminals or are somehow responsible for their children's deaths. Those parents are fucking stupid and aren't doing probably anything to be a parent. I grew up playing Mortal Kombat. Do you know how many fights I've actually been in my life? 0. I've never even thrown a punch. However, the game companies responded by saying, "We have implemented a perfectly good rating system for our games, and no one is allowed to buy them without proper identification." Perhaps the ones who are truly to blame are the parents that allow their children to buy such games. Yes. A friend of one of the victims had this to say: "You can't just blame the problem on one thing. It's more complex than that. Everyone involved has their share of the problem. Game makers, parents, and even myself are no exception. We should all realize this and stop this pointless arguing. After all, it's not like the arguing will bring back what was lost." Yes, but you can make this kind of argument of pretty much any kind of media. The comic book made the kids violent. The movie made the kids violent. The radio made the kids violent. This argument's been applied to all kinds of media. It's a stupid argument. CC Japan announces new Model 2M M2D. CyberConnect Japan announced a new model for the M2D micro monocle display. The M2D has been developed as the next generation of HMDs, head-mounted displays. Previous models have suffered from various imbalances, such as high-performance technology in heavy awkward helmets, or goggle types that were lacking in audio-visual capabilities. However, this new generation of HMD features all the comforts of a light goggle display together with AV performance that outperforms previous helmet types. It features a standard 1280 by 1024 full-color projection displayed, complete with transparency options and high-quality audio immersion thanks to the new Omnisphere system. Its default usage is monocle mode, a mode where the screen is displayed in one of the lenses, but is also capable of switching into double lens mode, allowing one to enjoy a fully immersive virtual world. Customer service is also excellent with regular updates and complimentary software. I personally recommend the software Automatic Broad Interpretation. Allows you to select objects in front of you and provide easy access to information about them. It's like Google Lens, except not owned by Google, so therefore not evil. It has already been selected as the standard equipment for CC Japan's online game The World R2. Plans for it to be used in other company projects are said to be in the works. It is a bit pricey, with the suggested price of $420, but it is worth it. This game was made in 2006, so do remember that. I can't wait for its release.
Display your world. For business or for entertainment, the new M2D Micro Monocle display now on sale. Once you're freed from your mobile, the net opens up in front of your eyes.
Whoa. New York, and back in a day, ASST service begins. Today marked the official launch of the ASST, short for Advanced Supersonic Travel. Since the use of Concords was abandoned more than 10 years ago, Japan and Europe have cooperated in developing the first usable ASST model. The plane seats 250 people, possessing a cruising range of 10,000 kilometers, and can fly from Tokyo to New York in roughly 4 hours, a considerable reduction from current 14-hour trip. Although a day trip to New York City is no longer a mere dream, to make this dream come true will require some serious cash. The current price for a one-way New York-Tokyo ticket is $3,200,000 yen, or roughly $30,000. A round trip is double that. It's enough to make the old expensive Concord prices feel like pocket change in comparison. One asterisk. I don't know what that fucking did. I guess this is like reference? I don't know. However, there appear to be no shortage of people desperately seeking tickets despite the high prices. The moment ASST flights were announced, new Ace Airlines phones began ringing off the hook with requests for tickets, causing the phone lines to become jammed. One NAA employee remarked that he just hopes his company can keep going at this rate. Oh, here's the asterisk. A round-trip Concorde flight between London and New York costs $9,000 to $13,000.
The supersonic passenger jet, ASST, which can attain speeds of over Mach 3, has been officially commissioned. As a result, the amount of time it takes to fly from Tokyo to New York has been shortened from 14 hours to just 4 hours.
Neat. Outdoor introverts. Wasn't long ago that the word introvert referred to someone who would spend most of their day cooped up in their room playing an online game. That is not what introvert means even in the slightest. But now advances in mobile technology has given birth to a new type of introvert, known as outdoor introverts who play online games wherever they go. No, that's an online junkie. That's someone who needs to touch grass, but they're outside now, so they could, but they still don't. These introverts insist that they are healthier than their indoor counterparts because they spend more time outside, but the refusal to let go of their mobile devices, whether they're traveling to work or school, shopping, eating out, or even going on a date, is unnatural. Mobile device addiction. Good old 2006 not realizing that this is just the norm now. God, that's 20 fucking years ago. That's so gross. One of these introverts, John Doe, a 20-year-old college student, says, "Nothing I do in the real world feels real. It's so much more satisfying to complete a quest with your friends together online. It's because you're a frickin' nerd!" For them, online games are more than just entertainment. If anything, their meal times and errands only serve as something to do in between game sessions. This is called an addiction. This is called gaming addiction, not being an introvert. Those are very different things. And now these people are outside being introverts like it's completely natural. That is not what being an introvert is. That is called just being addicted to the internet.
In the old days, when people thought of an online junkie, they envisioned someone locked in their room, glued to their computer 24 hours a day. But today, due to radical improvements in mobile devices, network games can be enjoyed outside and have given rise to a whole new breed of online junkies.
See, that wording makes a lot more sense of just online junkie. Death by gaming, a worldwide epidemic. Incidents of players dying from playing online games for too long are increasing around the world. In most cases, players died from heart failure due to extreme exhaustion after playing a game for over 30 hours straight. Bruh. One college student was enjoying a game in an internet cafe when he suddenly collapsed. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The student was a well-known player in the online game The World and was reportedly leveling up his character in preparation for the title match in The Arena, an online series of gladiator-like battles. There have also been incidents of players dying from too much excitement after losing an arena match, placing greater focus on the problem of online game addiction. Yes, those people need a life. Those are the people who need touch grass. That includes the people going outside with their freaking mobile devices. Touch grass. Take it off and touch grass. Some people have said in a flash the world was gone. It has been 2 years since the largest online game ever, The World, with 20 million copies sold worldwide, was taken offline. It was around this time that CyberConnect Japan, hereby referred to as CC Corp, had a fire at their headquarters. Yeah, this is what I mentioned earlier. As the extent of the damage caused by the fire, which wiped out all of the world's data, became increasingly apparent, CC Corp's leaders held a rather somber press conference. The game program, character data, and cyber data were all reduced to ashes, and what was left was drenched in water used to put out the fire. This happened soon after a string of break-ins, which meant that usage of Megafloat had just been stopped. All backup data was in the company headquarters. Online data has been recognized as property for many years now, but unlike antiques, jewelry, and other tangible objects, the moment data is damaged or disappears, it loses all of its worth forever. Even now, the voices of those seeking their lost property can be heard, but CC Corp refuses to budge from their unwavering attitude of, it's gone and it ain't coming back. I mean, yeah, they also lost a lot of fucking money, so I don't know. I don't like digital things. I like having physical copies of things. Now 2 years since the incident, there still appear to be no end of the discussion about online data, personal property, and protection, even with the imminent release of The World R2. Ubiquitous families surpass 70%. What the fuck does that mean? The Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare announced today that according to the latest Japan census, the number of ubiquitous families have surpassed 70% of the population. Ubiquitous is a Latin-based word meaning present everywhere. It refers to a third generation of computers. The first generation was mainframe, one computer per household, and the second was a personal computer, one for each family member. In the current third generation, using a computer in daily life has become almost as natural as eating. We can connect to the internet without effort or even conscious thought anywhere, anytime. Yep, we're in the third era then. Home electronics are now managed by a personal home server, and we are now able to watch over everything, from the contents of our refrigerator to the temperature of our bathtubs, programming TV shows onto our HD records, and even checking if our doors are properly locked from any terminal anywhere, including our cell phones. Yay! God, I hate this. I hate that everything wants to be digital. It pisses me off. Furthermore, progress made in voice and handwriting recognition has opened up computers to a more active, flexible method of working, and users are no longer ruled by a strict list of settings managed by a machine. While it comes to no surprise that the fact? Where did that come from? While it comes as no surprise that the most active members of the ubiquitous family are in their 20s, what is surprising is the largest member is made up of senior citizens. The ministry reports that the main reason for this is the added simplicity, such as connectivity allows the elderly to manage their homes. If you say so. What did I miss? Oh. R2 breaks 12 million mark. CyberConnect Japan announced today that its popular online game, The World R2, has sold 12 million copies worldwide. CC Corp's other products include The World Fate Must Die Person and Kurukurumichi. Is person supposed to be Persona? The World R2 is an online game set in a fantasy world where humans and beasts live together. Players becoming world-renowned adventurers and traveling around killing monsters and discovering the world's secrets. As recently as a few years ago, shares in the world were at an all-time low due to the emergence of new developers. On top of that, the world was completely shut down after all data was lost in a disastrous fire at CC Corp headquarters. Amid the chaos and compensation issues that resulted from these events, CC Corp announced the sequel, The World R2. Most people deemed it a desperate plea for attention, and many analysts declared that R2 would fail miserably. Isn't that nice? However, the figures shown today have proven the world is as popular as ever. CC Corp seems confident. Watch us overcome the problems we have encountered on our previous title. It seems everybody will be watching the world for some time to come. And a bunch of bullshit's gonna happen in the world again. CC Corp employees happy in new office. The new headquarters of CyberConnect Japan have been completed. The new building, designed with an avant-garde look and located close to a high-powered commercial area, is sure to become the next great landmark in our city. I guess when I think of avant-garde, I think of something a lot weirder looking that looks sure like a building. The CyberConnect Museum, located on the ground floor, is open to the public, though one must apply for admission, and popular characters from its international mega-hit The World will greet visitors personally. Will they have Kite and Black Rose in it? 2 years after the fire, employees are happy to be leaving their cramped temporary offices and moving back to a proper working environment. Users have also been eagerly anticipating the move in hopes that a newer and more interesting games will be made as a result. Fire broke out at CC headquarters in 2015, reportedly caused by a spark in an electronic device. Several people were killed and many were injured. Clearly it was Kubia.
After having suffered a huge fire in 2015, CyberConnect Japan's new home office has now been completed. Subsequent investigations determined that a spark from electrical equipment led to the blaze 2 years earlier, resulting in multiple deaths and injuries.
Sad times. Another accident at CC Corp. Early this morning, 4 employees at CyberConnect Japan, hereby referred to as CC Corp, suffered electric shocks while working to construct a company server, and were promptly rushed to the hospital. All 4 are unconscious and in critical condition. CC Corp commented, "We are still searching for the cause of this tragic accident." Similar reports occurred 7 years ago when a number of employees monitoring the server were rendered unconscious. Oh, was that Leos's crew? That might have been Leos's dudes. At the time, CC Corp was severely admonished for its lack of safety protocols. As a result, introduced a TSN system into their headquarters, but accidents continue to occur. 2 years ago, CC Corp headquarters suffered a huge fire in which several of their employees were killed. These constant accidents are prompting questions about the company's intentions regarding safety in the workplace. To be fair, I don't think they can do dick about Kubia. Kubia is kind of something that's hard to explain to people. TSN is Tri-Surveillance Network System, or TNS? That's what it was. 3 different AIs are set inside the company network to monitor it. Oh. I see. It is designed to prevent information leaks, improper network usage, and company-wide system problems, developed in 2010 by International Electronic General Technology Research Center. I just realized something about the 3 different AIs set inside the company network to monitor it. If you've never seen anything about GU, you have no idea why I'm just like, oh. The dark side of the online generation. As soon as we called each other by our world names, I felt like something had gone far away, said one of the young culprits to his lawyer. It had been 2 months since the incident in which 3 young boys took over the school faculty room. Currently, they live in separate rooms while undergoing a reform program. Only recently had one of the boys started to speak about what happened that day. Even now, they continue to inhabit a virtual reality, said a close source to the boys. They didn't like to talk about school, and when they talked about their family or friends, they reply with only the most basic information possible. The only time their eyes sparkle is when they're talking about the world. When asked who his best friend is, one boy replies with a Western name. It is, if one were then to ask him if that is the name of his pen pal, his expression saddens and he responds, I don't have any friends in real life. One thing these boys can be said to have in common is the fact that they have all completely removed themselves from the real world. They do not trust the real world. Again, what is their home life like? What are their parents like? Because these are kind of big, important questions. I told people online about my problems. In real life, no one would care about them, but online, everyone cares. My online friends are all so nice. They worry about me. They give me advice. I just wish real life was like my life online. Picture of weapons. Although discussion about the effects of online gaming on young boys has been going on for years, public opinion has been moving against games as more and more facts about this comes to light. These boys know reality, yet do not understand it. What will they see when they turn to the real world? Hot garbage.
It was discovered that the 3 armed youths who were responsible for the recent school riot were devoted online gamers. Following this discovery, public criticism of online games increased sharply.
See, if you just put that kind of context, you're just like, how did these things correlate? Again, this is an issue of... kind of sounds more like unstable home environments. If video games are not responsible for that. But again, this was made in 2006. Woo! Global warming! World meeting on global warming. This is gonna be either very depressing or like, aww, optimism. A meeting was held this week in Kazakhstan? Is that a real place? Nope, that sure isn't a real place. The closest it came up with was Kazakhstan. A meeting was held this week in Kazakhstan, Central Asia, about the greenhouse effect and cutting down greenhouse emissions such as CO2. Thanks to progress made in carbon dioxide processing technology, the amount of CO2 released last year was down to 10% of what it was in 1990. However, the problem of global warming has yet to be fully resolved due to expanding energy needs of the former third world countries. Optimistic. Now it's everything is bad. 5 Japanese to play in Major League Baseball. Aren't there quite a few of them nowadays? This year marks the first time that 5 Japanese players will be playing in Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Among them, 33-year-old Kyuji Nakasugi will be playing in the majors for the 4th consecutive year and currently holds 2nd place for the most home runs batted this season with 20 home runs so far. Nakasugi commented in his blog saying that, "I'm very happy to have been chosen as the All-Star this year. I hope you'll look forward to my home run contest." Yay! More of them. Virtual academies officially begin. Yeah, online schools are a thing now. I guess, again, 2006. Starting this year, a private high school in the city will begin offering virtual academic courses. For the last 2 years, the school has been conducting VAC trials with physically disabled and hospitalized students. The process involves preparing a virtual classroom on a network, which this— oh yeah, and Zoom meetings, the Zoom classes of COVID. Yeah, that was a thing. Again, 2006. The process involves preparing a virtual classroom on a network which students attend via M2D displays. Yeah, you just got fucking Zoom. Virtual avatars based on students' actual appearances are assembled using CGs. Students have been able to look out a virtual window. Instead of merely granting high school graduates qualifications, as most distant learning courses provide, the system's goals are to provide students with real memory of school life. Instead, you get the trauma and weird social aspects that COVID caused. New GPS systems widely used. New global positioning system, GPS, for cars that monitor real-time traffic information through a constant connection to the database of the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, and Transportation are now in widespread practical use. Google Maps! In your phone! And also in your car sometimes. If you have a new enough car. Actually, yeah. The new systems speak with the driver as naturally as a human and learn the driver's speech and behavior patterns over time, enabling the system to understand and set a destination even when the driver refers to vague terms such as the usual place or work. Furthermore, the systems are equipped with highway-specific auto-drive functions, allowing users to leave the driving entirely up to the GPS system. Woo! 50% of parents support microchips for children. Yeah, microchip your kid. The belief that Japan was a safe society has long since been destroyed. No society is really that safe. Now a new study reveals that over 50% of parents want to have microchips embedded in their kids' bodies to prevent them from getting lost or kidnapped. That's not going to stop. That's just going to make them a little easier to find. They're still going to get lost and kidnapped. Currently, the safety chip from Horizon Inc. is being widely distributed. The chip size is less than half a grain of rice, and by scanning the area it's embedded in, usually the neck, with a special scanner, all the information contained in the chip can be easily downloaded. The chip costs $115, and a monthly fee of $10 is required to access and manage the database. Like I said, microchip your kids! Just like you would with your dog. How helpful it will be. Once the chip is embedded, the embeddee can use it as they would a cell phone in order to get cash, buy groceries, enter passwords, and so on. How? However, the chip can be used to look up a personal history and criminal record and pinpoint the embeddee's exact location using GPS technology. Furthermore, it is also possible to use this chip to pay for train tickets and highway tolls and send information to a computer or cell phone by pointing it towards them. Yeah, we don't have to microchip your kids, you got your phone for that. My morbid ass thought was, the only thing that this would be helpful for is if your kid is found dead. And then they can just scan the microchip and figure out who the fuck they are. Beep! Oh, time to go tell his mom that he's dead. However, many people are strongly opposed to implanting a chip into children who are unable to make their own decisions, calling parents who choose to do so egotistical and invasive. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. In response to those complaints, Horizon Inc. is developing a new model called a guard bangle, which is a bracelet with a chip embedded in it. But this option leaves itself wide open to theft, defeating the purpose of having one for safety purposes. Many teenagers desire to have one of these chips implanted for the cool factor. I can guarantee you teenagers would not fucking want that. But in a survey of children who had these chips implanted, over 80% say they regret it. It seems that these chips have a long way to go before they'll be accepted in society. Do not microchip your kids, it's weird. Player killers and players killed. Players known as PKers exist in online games. They are player killers, and they play the games to defeat other players. I had that mostly correct. They play the game to defeat other player characters. PKing is also refers to the actual act of killing a player. Victims of PKers often lose experience points and in-game currency, and many of them have given up playing online games due to this shock. When asked, most PKers will say things like, if it's allowed in the game, then it's not against the rules. Everyone's got different playing styles, or if you don't like it, go play a game that doesn't allow it. It is true that there are many online games that do not allow PKing. However, on the other hand, when considering that many players in a non-PK game have far lower motivation to play than their PK game counterparts, it becomes difficult to say whether PKers are good or bad for their games. It depends on the game, I guess. Doesn't really matter when you got, like, Battle Royale shit all over the place. With MMOs, I can understand why that would be, like, kind of a bummer. One player had this to say, the PK problem will never go away unless people controlling the characters change. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Crimson vs. Service down. Crimson vs., the popular online card game run by CyberConnect Japan, remains offline 6 months after efforts to expand the servers and conduct software updates. Crimson vs. is played together with the World R2. Players make a custom deck out of hundreds of different cards and pit them against other players' decks online. Magic the Gathering Online, yeah! One of the main problems of this type of online card game is the fact that none of the cards a player gains actually exist. They're all just data uploaded to a server. Therefore, during long periods of downtime, such as the current one, players cannot use or even admire one's hard-earned collection. Sucks to suck, bruh. That's why physical things are superior. To that end, CyberConnect Japan has been flooded with requests from users to hurry up and resume the game service. I'm sorry your shit's broken, fix it faster, yells the fanbase. Fans of the game, ranging from elementary students to adults, are even now eagerly waiting for the return of their favorite pastime. Okay, carrying on with this. Existence of PK system. I'm going to talk for a bit about PKs. The PK system was around since the days of Fragment. That was the game that became the World R1. Oh, until it was abolished in the middle days of the World R1. It was a system that made the world really unique. When the PKs were abolished, the players held protests at each of the root towns, and the fan sites demanded that PKs be brought back. Why? Now for the World R2, the PK system has been brought back. It has its pros and cons, but the players generally welcomed it when it first started. But lately there have been a growing number of people who call for it to be abolished again. In the outside world too, people are talking a lot about whether it's morally correct to have a game where people kill each other. That's not the premise of this game though, it's just a thing that people can do. So considering all of these things, I have a question. Does the world really need PKs? Give me your detailed answers, thank you. No, it's stupid. The purpose of this thread is not to criticize PKing. Please don't flame or troll, thank you. I think the world definitely needs PKs, though I personally hate PKing. In network games with no PKing, you have no choice but to accept getting cheated or get swindled by other players. What? But in the world, there's the PK system. If you use your brain, you can use the PK system to protect yourself. So just from a self-defense point of view, the PK system is necessary. What? I don't understand that logic at all. That's basically my opinion. I disagree. I'm against the current PK system. I won't say that the system itself is bad, however, I can't agree with a system that blames the victims and says that if you don't want to get PK'd, you should do the PKing first, you know? For example, they could make sure some servers where PKing is allowed and others where it is forbidden. Or make it so you can turn PKing on or off. If it's off, you can't PK someone, and you can't be PK'd either. OHCC Corp would think of a way to separate the people that want it and the people who don't want it. Only a game! I personally think either way is fine. Even if you get PK'd, it's not that big of a deal as it's within the game. So maybe you'll lose some experience and the time you spent to get those points. At worst, you lose some items too. That's all, but for some people that really fucking sucks and it'll make them quit the game. So do you really have to talk about who got PK'd and who did the PKing? Naturally, if your dear character is PK'd, it's going to upset you, but it's just a game, right? I'm not saying you should enjoy getting PK'd, just maybe take it a little bit more lightly. Yeah, whatever. It's not an issue of is it necessary or is it not, is it? It's part of the game. Real winners are the ones who have fun. That's the problem, because for some people, PKing is the only way they have fun, and they're fucking psychopaths. I'm all for my 2 cents. I'm all for the PK system. I started playing the world because it had a PK system, which is something that I wanted to experience, although my fear of retaliation prevents me from PKing anyone. For someone who wants to play a game with a PK system, such as myself, it is absolutely necessary to have one. But to be honest, I really don't care if the world has it or not. I'll do whatever... I'll go to whatever game has the best PK system. Why do you want it if you're not going to participate in it at all? Makes no sense to me. Lastly, I want to add a personal comment to all people who say that you hate PKing but still play the world, which is a game whose main selling point is the PK system. I just want to say, go play another game. I'm begging you. Oh, go suck a dick. I disagree. I want to talk about the World R2. It's a mistake to have the PK system apply to the entire game. I can see that. They say that the arena was created to calm down the whole PK controversy, but I think it's done the opposite. I think they should have made it so the PK system applied only to the arena and left the rest of the game PK free. People don't want to get involved in PK can stay away from the arena, and people who do want to PK go to the arena. That way both types of people would have to be happy. Yeah, but the PK people, they don't want to have an equal fight. They want to have victims. That's it. It's the same thing for the trouble between the guilds. Instead of killing each other in arenas whenever there's a dispute, it would be way better if they could solve it fairly in the arena. Oh, in areas, whenever there's a dispute. That's the way... I'm just gonna read that again. It's the same thing for the trouble between the guilds. Instead of killing each other in areas whenever there's a dispute, it would be way better if they could solve it fairly in the arena. That's the way it should have been handled. I think the current PK problem was born from the fact that the world is borderless. It is not too late to fix things, so I think they should consider reworking the entire system. So, I guess I have to say I'm against the PK system. Yeah, I am too, it's stupid. Where can I get an Olm shell? I'm looking for an Olm shell, I just started, so I don't have much money and hoping I can get one from monsters and some treasure chests. Where can I find one? Someone tell me. Must be tough getting started. Let me think. Go to the area below and break the barrels. I think you'll find some. That's a buzzing wrath's puddle. Oh no, scary puddles! Though you don't have money, be brave and you'll do fine. Good luck. There's a area we can start. Epitaph of Twilight. I heard a weird thing from a friend of mine. Is it true that the world was created based on the epic poem Epitaph of Twilight? R1 was. Also, if this is true, what is that on the official page? Does anyone here know anything about it? The world was created based on the epic poem Epitaph of Twilight. I believe this is true. CC Corp won't officially admit it, though. Also, if this is true, what is that on the official page? Well, that's the Epitaph of Twilight, right? That's the Epitaph of Twilight, right? I heard that the Epitaph of Twilight was a fantasy-style story about the search for a dragon, but the main background story for the world is just about a bunch of guys fighting each other? I don't think that can be right. The previous version, the World R1, was most definitely based around the poem Epitaph of Twilight. Twilight. It is said that the words written on the altar in Hulgrons are proof of that. With regards to the World R2, the two event planners structured the game from scratch while incorporating the atmosphere of the World R1 as much as possible. Response to that, excuse me, but could you tell me your source? Response to that, CC Corporation's e-zine. E-magazine, I guess. I hate how that's shortened, it's stupid looking. E-zine! Jason! So this is how I think it is. Fragment based on the Epitaph of Twilight. The World R1 based on the Epitaph of Twilight. The World R2, CC Corp's original scenario, partly based on the previous game. Huh? I'm just gonna say E-magazine because E-zine sounds stupid. The E-magazine has insider info from the designers. I figured it would have just been mindless advertising. Damn, I underestimated them. Did you need to be a gold member of the CC Corporation official fan club to be able to receive the E-magazine? Response to that. Exactly, but you need to have $30 cash in your cyber wallet, so think carefully before you register. $30 for a fucking magazine? That's insane. Or is that just for, like... I guess I'm just like, is that a subscription service to be the part of the fan club? I don't know how fan clubs work. I'm not part of any official fan clubs. At all. Never have been. Wasn't there a guild that was collecting the Epitaph of Twilight and the Twilight Keys? I wonder if that guild is still active. I don't hear anything about them anymore. So, Haseo mentioned the Twilight Brigade earlier. If you aren't aware, .hack.gu is a follow-up of the anime .hack Roots. Oddly enough, I've never actually seen Roots at all. Any of it. Except maybe the first episode, because I think one of the, I want to say the first... Oh my goodness. I want to say that the first game of the original trilogy, like, has the first episode available on it. I have the original trilogy, obviously in physical copies, and last Recode on Steam, and also the Switch version. Still want a PS4 copy. Anyway. But yeah, the Twilight Brigade is the guild that Haseo, Shino, and Ovan were all part of, looking for the keys to Twilight, which is kind of like the book that Aura gave us in IMOQ. So, there's your lore dump, I guess, from me. Yeah, we read that. Is it messed up? This is starting to look more and more like a bad rumor board. Wasn't there a guild that was collecting the Epitaph of Twilight and the Twilight Keys? Yeah, that was the Twilight Brigade. Now that you mention it, I haven't heard a thing about them lately either. They used to be so active, too. Wonder what happened. Maybe they broke up? Response to, that was the Twilight Brigade. The guild itself is no longer around. It seems they just fell apart when the leader disappeared. Yeah, Ovan was the leader of it. But I heard the leader recently returned to the world. I guess the former members of the guild are starting to get active again, too. I mistakenly used a rare serrated edge nickel coin I bought at an auction to buy a rice ball. Good evening. This is Ohm Rice. That's what that symbol is. He makes it very clear, even though it kind of looks like a butt or a ball sack, to be honest. But I heard the leader recently returned to the world. Wow, really? What does the nickel have to do with anything? Ohm Rice, you're fucking stupid. Wow, really? I wonder if the rumor board is going to get busy again. If it gets to be what it used to be like, I'll be posting there too. Bring on the Twilight Brigade. Before I scroll down, is the next person gonna be Cocky Leader? No, it's not. You'll see why I mentioned Cocky Leader eventually. Sorry for the noob-like question, but what exactly is the Epitaph of Twilight and the Twilight Key business? Well, forgive me for my presumptuousness, but let me try to explain. Epitaph of Twilight. This is an epic poem that was posted on the internet for free. People say that the world R1 is based on it, but CC Corp denies it. Yeah, of course they do. Even though there's the weird shit with Emma and Harold Horwick and Aura and Morgana. It's all complicated. I read that. The person who wrote the poem is dead now, and you can no longer see the website where it was originally posted. The poem itself has been scattered as well. Twilight Key. This is a legendary item that is said to grant the wishes of whoever is lucky enough to find it. Lots of players have been looking for it ever since the days of Fragment. Despite the fact that an extremely large number of people are looking for it, there are no reports of anyone having seen it. Lately, most people have started to think that it might be another urban legend since the information is just so vague. I hope the above explanation has been useful. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must be going. This is a forum board. You don't need to announce that you're leaving. So the Twilight Brigade is a guild that is dedicated to finding something that doesn't exist? That kind of sounds romantic. It's not confirmed or denied that it exists. It's not quite the same thing. I miss R1. Loving new things is part of human nature, but so is loving old things. I want to go into the area again with a character that I put my spirit into making. I want to play with my dear companion. The images of a drenched CC Corp headquarters on the news, toasted servers standing there with despair, Zetsuboshita. Diligent petitions were not answered as CC Corp announced the resignation of the R1 restoration. Yeah, because all the information got lost, like literally all of it. However, listen to this, even so, the old warm-hearted me still wants to go back. Note, I'm actually still warm-hearted. Good for you. I hope that CC Corp guys, especially the executives, hear my cries, and I hope they bring back our dear old world. They will not, because they're a corporation. I want them to bring back R1 too. It's not that I hate R2, it's just that I want more memories with R1. Damn it, who started that fire anyway? Probably Kubia. Yeah, R2 has a very different vibe. It's a lot more steampunk, while R1 was just generally a lot more fantasy. Was R1 really that great? Isn't everyone exaggerating a bit? Graphically, R2 is way, way better. Who gives a shit? The game system is better too. I think R2 wins hands down. Yeah, both have their pros and cons, but graphics are not the point. Hope R2 really takes off. Responding to that. To the graphics part. I admit that's true, but how do I put it? That doesn't matter. It's not the same as R1. We want our old R1 back. I started playing from R2, so I don't understand why everyone makes such a big deal about R1. It's nostalgia, my dude. So here's my question. If R1 was brought back or remade or whatever, what would you all do? Respond to that. I'll play them both. The reason is that I don't want to lose the characters I've built up in R2, but I also want to play R1. Pretty hard. That's a tough question. I guess I would play both, but I don't have much money. I'm not clever enough to play both at the same time, so I guess I'd wind up playing R2. Why? I still fucking played Ocarina of Time, and I'm currently playing through Majora's Mask. Basically, I'll keep playing R2, just like Apple Star. I can't see myself playing both. Yeah, because the fucking MMOs cost money. That's the reason why I never played World of Warcraft. It costs money to play it, and I'm just, not just buy it, but like, MMOs have subscriptions, they always have. But if an old character data is restored, I might just quit R2 and play R1 instead. That's for the world. Here's the Crimson Versus board. Expected result 1. Complaining about this won't speed up the process, but why don't we have a constructive discussion on what we expect for the next version? The CC Corp employee may read it and pick up on some ideas. Doubtful. This is how Crimson Versus will change in its next release. Okay, write down your thoughts. This may sound selfish. There will be more hot girls! Huh? You don't like that? Personally, I would really love to see it, lol. Shut up. The opposite. I wish they'd come with more sexy guy characters. I like guys with toned biceps and abs. I get hot just imagining them. You need to calm down. For a moment I agreed with you, but you go for guys with muscles, lol. As for me, I like lanky, pretty guys. Forget I said anything. No. Sorry for being realistic, I wish they would increase the number of cards in your deck stock. I hate having to have the deck in front of you and making notes all the time. Sorry for the boring opinion. Dear Beastie, monster cards! Tons more of them! Pile them on! Can't get enough! Oh, Tanu, it's you. Tanu is an NPC character who is a beast character design. Ugh, I'm already in the world mode. Well, in the next version, I want to see twice as many, no, 4 times as many monster cards. That's what I want. Reply to that. I thought they might do that. By the way, Tanu, are you that Tanu? Kestrel's beast lover, right? I know this is out of the blue, but I love how you run around Makanu screaming beastie, lol. In the next version, I want to see them make my portrait even more beautiful. Huh, I'm sure they'll do that. You're weird. Tanu, yikes, my cover is blown on top of that. Are you hitting on me? Wow. Things are heating up in here, lol. I want them to use famous cartoon artists and illustrators for the artwork. Why? The artwork now isn't bad, but if it were by some of these artists, it would be so out of this world. I want to see cards by Mr. So-and-so, don't you think? I want the art collection. Nogmung's post has been beautifully ignored. This has nothing to do with the next version, but I wish they'd put out an art collection if possible in hardcover. 1 picture per page would be perfect. That's too big. Though I do admit an art collection of, like, sets of cards would be awesome. I'd want that for Gate Ruler and Force of Will, even though Force of Will is, like, dead in the US. Oh, an art collection would be great. I want them to put sketches in there too. Or maybe not, that'd be too many pages. The cost would be even worse. Oh yeah. I want to see cards by Mr. So-and-so. How about different artists drawing the same subject? What do you think? Sounds interesting, huh? I like that. Nogmung replying, "You don't appreciate my beauty? You guys are all blind." Well, I just wanted to try saying that. Don't get mad, okay? Nagamung, you made me laugh. The art collection is a great idea, but it can't be too expensive. This thread is getting too long. I'm starting a new one. You can read the continuation from there. About ceasing service. It's been a long time since they went out of service. Do version upgrades and server expansions usually take this much time? Yeah, Crimson Versus doesn't become available in the first game at all. It does in the second one. I don't know much about computers, so I really don't know. Can anybody tell us the answer? Well, I'm not exactly an expert, but it sure feels like it's taking too long. According to rumors, the stoppage was caused by a virus. They say the whole story about an upgrade is just a lie. Yeah, Kubia. I'm gonna blame everything on Kubia. Reply to that, so it's not reliable info, right? Don't you guys think you should stop spreading rumors? It's not reliable info. This info is apparently true. Remember, there were some graphical bugs just before the service was suspended? Those black spots were popping up. I heard it was caused by a virus. Oh, I didn't know it was showing up in Crimson Versus. It's been confirmed by an analyst on the rumor board, so I think it's rather reliable. Respond to that. I too think it's reliable information. I asked a programmer friend of mine to take a look and he found a virus right away. Respond to that. This friend of yours sounds suspicious. Are you sure it's really true? Do version upgrades... Do upgrades and server expansions really take this much time? I totally agree. It's unthinkable that a version or a server upgrade would take this long. A couple of years ago, but not now. Again, 2006. According to rumors, the stoppage was caused by a virus. I heard that rumor too. I personally think that this rumor is believable, even though, like Killer Whale said, it's not certain. In CC Corp's case, it seems likely. Huh? So it's safe to say that we are all on the same page that this has taken too much time. In CC Corp's case, it seems likely. ITA. What's ITA? Feeling like a boomer. Oh, I totally agree. Okay. I don't know acronyms. Really bad at acronyms. About the game! I tried to start it, but it was temporarily out of service. What's going on? Hi there. My name is Alphonse. Oh no! Metal Boy. The problem is just like it says above, and on top of that, not only is the game out of service, I'm not able to view the official website. I don't know anything about this game other than it's a card game. So if it's okay with you, I would like those of you who know to tell me how to play this game. Okay, let me explain the basics. This is a type of card game where the game plays out automatically. The players create a few decks, then place them in a deck pool known as the arena. After that, you just leave them alone. When you check the arena, you'll see that the deck is battling on its own and earning points called battle points. Use the battle points to purchase new decks, strengthen your deck, and then leave them in the arena again. It's a basic cycle of the game. That's kind of boring. The stronger your opponents, the more convincingly you defeat them, the more points you earn. Also, this is the type of card game where the game plays out automatically, so it's perfect for people who are busy with their jobs. Battles? Perfect for people busy with their jobs. Makes sense, lol. Okay, so let me see if I got this right. It's just a regular card game, but players' moves are set to automatic, right? But doesn't that mean that once you make your strongest deck, that's the end of it? Regular card game, but players' moves are set to automatic. You got it. But doesn't that mean once you make your strongest deck, that's the end of it? To avoid that problem, they use what's called the Trinity system. Trinity is kind of like a game of rock, paper, scissors. Instead of rock, paper, scissors, there's wing, gun, and shield. They interact with the following. Wing is weak against gun, gets shot down. Gun is weak against shield, can't pierce shield. Shield is weak against wing, attacks from above. All the cards are given one of these elements, so depending on your strategy, you can defeat really strong cards with a really weak one. Card! Cards can be divided into the following anyway. General cards, general unit cards, troop. General cards control deck cost, called Charisma in Crimson Versus. 3 unit cards can be placed within the boundaries of the general cards' deck cost. Charisma, actually you have to put 3 cards in there. Build up your deck while considering the following types of things. How to divide the cost among a predetermined number of unit cards. How to combine unit cards with other unit cards with general cards. How to balance general card abilities with overall deck balance. I think Crimson Versus that you can play in the second game don't have the general card abilities. I think that's just in whatever the hell the last game is. I see, so it is pretty strategic after all. Can't wait until they start it up again. Hey everyone, thanks for the great information. Oh, I forgot one thing. Rumor says that Crimson Versus will be completely revamped in its next update. I'm not sure how reliable that is though. Things mentioned in this thread may change. CC Corp is notorious for flip-flopping on the specs. You should consider the information on this thread as purely a reference. How to start this game. I've tried this game, but it won't start. How do I get it to start? The world runs okay on my computer, but do I need some kind of special thingy? Please tell me. Game is temporarily out of service. Please wait until it resumes. How long do I have to wait, and why is it out of service? You know, you could probably look this up on their website. How long do I have to wait? I don't know. Everyone is waiting for CC Corp to make an announcement. Why is it out of service? I don't know the answer to that either. We're waiting for CC Corp's announcement. Okay, got it. Thanks for the answers. Anticlimactic. Oh, the news! Fun internet game. I've been playing Riot Gun, but I got sick of it recently. Is there a network game you can recommend? I don't care if it's an MO or an MMO. The world doesn't need to be like Riot. It's okay if it's not an FPS, fantasy, sci-fi, I don't care. Thanks in advance. Okay, let me invite you right away. Haven't checked out Forbidden yet. The world is close to Riot Gun, so I think you'll get used to it quickly. I think they're running a campaign for beginners right now. How about it? My personal recommendations are the Negotiator, the Bouncer, or As You Like. The Negotiator is like a store management type MMO. You can do all sorts of different things, like go into a dungeon and collect items to sell, buy things from other adventurers, players, and buy out and eventually sell for profit other players' stores. How does that work in an MMO? The art now has a rare 2D dot matrix retro feel to it. As You Like is a miniature garden-type MO game. Players start out on an uninhabited island and try to build civilization from scratch. Some islands can evolve to a complete jungle, some may turn out to become a scene from a sci-fi novel. This one is 3D, yet has a tender touch with cute characters. It's very different from Riot Gun, but both are pretty interesting. Thanks for the info. The Negotiator, or As You Like. They both sound like simulation games. By the way, I'm the one that got frustrated playing Outlaws of the March online, but do you think an idiot like me could have fun with these games? Forbidden. Never heard of it. What is it like? They just started beta testing it. The world is like a sci-fi treasure island. You buy your own star cruiser and travel to other planets and search for treasure. It's pretty fun, attacking and defending yourself from space pirates, other players and stuff. Maybe. So you don't like Outlaws of the Marsh online, huh? If you could have If you could have made steady progress, it might have been fun for you, but if you're not good at that type of game, maybe an action or command type of game would be good. Double March might be a good choice. It's a military action game, but it's not an FPS. What do you think? Sci-Fi Treasure Island. Whoa! Sounds pretty cool. But it worries me that it's still in beta testing. Sounds like a lot of bugs? And Double March. I played that one before I started Riot Gun. I was really obsessed with it for a while, but then I got sick of it and started Riot. I think I'm gonna stay away from military games for a while. Thanks for the suggestion, though. Apply now! Have you heard the news about the new International Space Station? It looks like the group is actively taking names for the space station. To make a suggestion, you have to be an elementary, middle, or high school student. Why would you give this kind of power to children? They are gonna give you some dumbass names. So, do any of you students out there want to make any suggestions? If we participate, everyone will know our age. Okay. Oh well, it's okay. I'll go first. All for one. Okay, count me in too, as I started the topic. How about unison? It means the sound of the same note, like everyone should try to work together, you know? How about village, as in we're all in one big village, how about that, lol? My idea is yarn. Yarn is like a string. Yes, we know what yarn is. I thought it would be a great idea so the whole world can be as one through this one string. Creepy to be honest. I always thought that there was a lot of scary people around these days, but what I saw on the news today convinced me even more. I guess that you call these kids with sunglasses online junkies. Doesn't that just scare the life out of you? No? Whenever I see that, I think of an old movie. I can't remember the name of it. Definitely, I feel bad saying it because it's how I earn my living, but it's scary. They look as if they're all in the midst of being brainwashed or something, laying back with those awful sunglasses and a little dark room. In a way, it's too perfect. That's how I earn my living, huh? You work for CC Corp? Unfortunately, no, I just work in an electronics store. Whenever I see that, I think of an old movie. Is it the one where you see aliens when you put on sunglasses? What is that one? They Live? Or something? Or the one where secret agents with the same face attack the main character? I don't know that one. They all look as if they're in the midst of being brainwashed or something. Excuse me, but I'm one of those people, and I don't do the things you see on the news. I'm not slick enough to be surfing the internet or playing a game while walking at the same time. They look like they're being in the midst of being brainwashed. I've never been to an internet cafe before, but that's how it is in those places. That's awesome. Now I want to go and see for myself. What? Or the one where the secret agents have the same face. I think that's the one. All I remember is that the people in town all start wearing sunglasses, so it might be different. Responding to that, then it must be the one with the Secret Service guys. Oh, okay. Anticlimactic ending. Age limit, is this fair? Oh, I love how this is relevant in this day and age. I think everyone knows that age restrictions for games offline have become more strict, but I think the way they're handling things lately have been wrong. Naturally, I think there should be a policy against mindless portrayals of violence, but I don't think they should go crazy about it either. It reminds me of things like Drama Queen. Does everyone know what I mean? Oh well. Oh no! I predict another heated discussion, smiley face. Naturally, I think there should be a policy against mindless portrayals of violence. I think you answered this thread yourself. But I think the way they've handled things lately has been wrong. I agree with that statement, however the enforcement policy— oh, this isn't what I was thinking of— has just recently been changed, so I think we should give it a little more time. Reminds me of things like Drama Queen. Drama what? Did I miss something? Drama Queen. Please forgive my presumptuousness. Are you the same guy who said that before? but I'll try to answer. Drama Queen is an incident that occurred in 2015 with regards to textbooks. Cinderella was used in a second grade Japanese language textbook, but many parents felt the material was inappropriate. Here's 2 basic reasons. Possibility for promoting bullying. A scene where Cinderella was abused by her stepmother as well as her sisters. Discrimination. The word Cinderella itself is already discriminatory. What? I don't even understand how possibility of promoting bullying... Is this just a Japanese thing I'm not understanding on how Cinderella is... the word Cinderella is discriminatory? Is this a Japanese thing that I'm not understanding? The textbook publisher bowed to the pressure, recalled the textbooks, and removed the material. This is referred to the Drama Queen incident. Yeah, people are being fucking drama queens about Cinderella. Thanks for the information, Ace. It certainly sounds like they made a big deal out of nothing, but this is a different kind of problem. I think if you lump that together with the game restriction issue, I don't think you can lump it together. Yeah, you can. Because if you try to claim, oh, it's got bad things in it, yeah, every frickin' story has conflict. Jeez. Regulation's good. Depends. Overall, I'm in favor of restrictions. I don't think it's a good idea for mentally immature children to see footage of explicit content. Yeah, that's why there's age ratings. As a matter of fact, our household is basically media-free, and we only allow our children to see books and movies that my wife and I have chosen. Your kids are gonna seek out things even harder because you're not letting them see things. I can't say that it's the best thing to do, but at a time like now, when information is just so overwhelming, regulation is the only way to protect our children. Or you could teach them things! You could do that too. I understand what Tadpole is saying, but I think it has its own dangers. They say that kids that grow up, that's an awkward sentence, in an overly pure environment snap out of it when it comes to them. Oh my god. They say that kids that grow up in an overly pure environment snap when it comes time for them to enter society on their own. Naturally, it's not true for everyone. Yeah, because suddenly they're just like, oh my god, the world's actually pretty fucking awful. Surprise, bitch. My associate is doing just that. He grew up in a household just like the one Tadpole's describing, but he throws away money like crazy. His bank account is always empty by the day after payday. When he goes shopping, he just fills the basket with games, books, and DVDs like a madman. It's kind of scary to watch. Whatever it is, it's best to do it in moderation, I think. Yeah. I thought of this while reading this thread. Kids these days don't get hit by their teachers or kicked out of their houses by parents. They just get praised over and over for nothing. How about you don't abuse your kids? What the fuck? Whoa, I forgot to write whether I'm for or against restrictions. I agree with restrictions themselves. If there's a reason for a restriction, I say they're fine. You're the dude who said that teachers don't hit their kids and parents don't throw them out anymore, so we should go back to that. You can go fuck off and die. Need new microchip? Don't microchip your kids. Is it normal, common sense, to implant microchips into our children these days? I don't get the idea as, in my generation, this was something that happened only in science fiction movies. If a GPS can constantly monitor a kid, that child will not be able to simply go to the places he or she wants to. They can still go, they just... now their parents know where they are all the time. Hey, guess what? 2006? 20 years later, that's exactly what phones do. With Life 360. Children properly going home since they're monitored by their parents. Is this how our culture should be? Speaking for myself, I find it awkward. How do the rest of you feel? Don't microchip your kids. Nice to meet you, Apple Star. I'm a mother of a single child. My son entered elementary school 2 years ago. At the time of enrollment, the school had handed out manuals and other necessary documents, as well as promotional material for microchips and security calls. Ew. From what I hear, at least 60% of the children have microchips implanted in them. Of course, it would be ideal if a parent could accompany their child to and from school, but very few families can do that these days. I have my hands full taking care of my father, so I can't go pick up my son. Naturally, my husband is at work too. I understand your concern, Applestar, but since your children's safety is the most important thing, don't you think you should reconsider? Yeah, stop microchipping your kids, goddamn. Local? What does a security call mean? I've never heard of that. Let me think. Where was that? I think there was a campaign like that in Nagano. I believe that the prefecture provided special cell phones. Each were preset so they could call their parents' cell phones or police with a single touch, while also being able to receive voice instructions on how to get to the nearest participating child safety station. I like that more than microchipping your damn kid. Whatever Kagari mentioned is correct. I'm happy to have a system like that. In an emergency, it makes all the difference. I remember them doing something like that. Like, the US had something like that, too. In an emergency, it'll make all the difference. In our household, we also have the kids carry pepper spray. Well then. By Baby Ken's mom. I heard that Nagano government is officially addressing the problem of children's safety, so I didn't know it was to that extent. Well, there's a lot of horror stories about the decay of public safety, but is it really so bad that parents have to monitor them while they go and come back from school? Isn't that going a little too far? The decay of safety. It's always been this bad, you just know about it more. Applestar, once something has happened, it's too late. You have to take whatever precautions you can to make sure it doesn't happen. I don't know what you're all talking about, I'm sorry, but there's something I want to say, so here goes. A few days ago, I went with my mother to get an MC put in me. I told my mom I didn't want to, but she didn't listen. She said it was for my own good. But I just don't understand what was for my own good. On my way home from school, I stopped by a friend's house, but I got an angry phone call from my mom. I was trying to get back the DVD that I lent. Yeah, this happens in modern day, too. On the way home from cram school, I stopped at a convenience store to talk with my friends. Again, my mother called and yelled at me. So there's no way I can handle this much longer. These MC things stink. Yeah, don't microchip your kids, it's weird. Takes courage to respond the way you did. Even if the child doesn't want it, the parents may still want to do it because they worry. I can see both sides, so I have mixed... But I don't think it's a little weird for people... But don't you think it's a little weird, that people mildly accept having MCs planted in their children, but they get all worked up about the citizen numbering system? Yeah, people like that, they don't think about the hypocrisy in it. The people who are microchipping their kids probably don't even really see their kids as, you know, their own person. I don't think anyone wants to be bound by data. I don't mean to call you out, but Baby Ken's mom, how would you have felt about having a microchip implanted in you when you were a child? Well, I wish to have less crime, but we can't hope for much under current circumstances. But even so, instead of relying on the most convenient solution, I think we need to find an answer that is good for both adults and children. Yeah, but that requires nuance, and people don't like nuance. Especially online people. Want to buy an M2D? The new model has been announced. Is everyone going to buy it? I got a simple question. When did CC Corp get into home electronics business? I'm suspicious of this open pricing thing. I bet it'll be expensive. Retail price will be a bit high, around $420. That's what I heard anyway. I admit it'll be worth buying, but if you don't have the money, you won't have it. Frowny face. Remember, this is 2006. $420 was a lot more. Well, you know, just in general, got you a lot more. Was worth more, that's what I'm trying to say. If you don't have the money, you don't have it. If you want money, you have to work to earn it. By the way, I put away $5 into savings each week. Good for you! When did CC Corp get into home electronics? I wonder too. But there's usually a jinx against companies who suddenly jump into new ventures. I don't want them to go bankrupt because that means I wouldn't be able to play the world. I hope CC Corp earns a bundle. $420, I hope that includes tax. Boy, you know it won't. Man, a little more than 400 bucks, that's too much, frowny face. It's just the state of mind. Concentrate. If you feel like it's expensive, it's expensive. If you feel like it's cheap, right? No! That's not how reality works, you nerd. Relax your mind. Nope, no matter how I look at it, it's expensive. Yes. Smart-ass bastard. Rumors. Looking for Ton. Just as my topic says, I have been going to guild shops and whispering to store managers, but I can't get a hold of him. I really need to talk to Ton. I have taken the liberty of posting here with hopes that you fine folks will know a way of contacting him. If this post goes against the rules of this board, I apologize. Does anyone know anything? I will be waiting for replies. You don't know Ton T-A-N. What is T-A-N? T-A-N was disbanded? I'm just gonna keep saying Ton. Did they have something you wanted? I may be able to help you. What's Ton? A guild that was active until just recently. It's not anymore. Their main activities revolved around trading items and information. It was said that there was nothing they couldn't acquire, as they had a wide variety of goods in the world, of course. However, they found out the guild was cheating, so they split up and the main members were deprived of their IDs. I guess you can call them a legend in a way. I may be able to help you out. In that case, I would like to get information. The other day, a friend of mine was PK'd. I'll never forgive them for it. I want to catch them so I can give them a good spanking. This is what I know about the PKers. They worked in a pair. One was a blade brandier, the other was an edge punisher. The edge punisher speaks strange. That's still really vague. If you know anything about these two PKers, I hope you are willing to help me. Got some info. If it was just items, I may have been able to help you out. If you're looking for information, try whispering to Nuwata or Encephalon. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll try whispering to them. Thank you for the help. That was not interesting. Forest of Pain! Hello and good evening. Do any of you know about the conditions to activate the world quest, the Forest of Pain? I've completed all of the quests except for the Forest of Pain. Are there conditions I don't know about in order to activate this quest? That quest can't be played right now. The entire area is currently sealed off. Even if you have the words needed, I doubt you'll be transported there. You're pretty brave to want to challenge the Forest of Pain. Be proud. The proud, upright posture of one dedicated to conquering the demon world that is said to be unbeatable. That's so cool, I can't stand it. Forced to pain, but I think it'd be best if you avoided anything to do with it. Quest can't be played right now. That's too bad. Thanks for the information. I think it'd be best if you avoided anything to do with it. What do you mean? Players that participate in the Forest of Pain quest are known to disappear. There was a time when this rumor was fairly well known. When it started, many laughed and thought it was just an urban legend, but upon doing some research, I found that player data for some of the people who participated were lost. Was Triage in the Forest of Pain? Further research revealed that the actual players where the character data was lost were in a coma. Yeah, that's some Triage nonsense. It was a big deal. In the end, nothing concrete was revealed about the link between the Forest of Pain and the Comatose players, but if I were you, I'd stay away from the quest. All I know is for Hackroot, Saseo went through the Forest of Pain, and that's how we see him in his third form in the beginning, beginning cutscenes. Not like the very beginning, but you know what I mean. Like when he starts fighting all of the other PKs that are down there. Are you kidding me? Who knows? It's up to you if you believe... It's up to you to believe or not to believe. You could have just said, it's up to you to believe it or not. It's such a clunky way of saying it. But as they often say, where there's smoke, there's fire. For now, I'll just say that personally, I don't think it's just another rumor. Okay, I'll try to hold off on that quest, even when it does open back up. Smiley face. Encephalon, the urban legend. A friend of a friend told me that blank. I'm sure you've heard that before. Rumors that feel real, even though they seem to have no factual basis. Rumors that seem to come true, even as they're spread. Rumors that seem logically impossible, yet become increasingly easy to believe the more you think about them. Half of the rumors on this board are rumors of that sort, urban legends. I'd like to talk about these legends. If you have time, please lend your ears to a dull analyst. If you have way too much time, please write a response. I'm sure he would be thrilled. Urban legends and ghost stories. Some of you may still not be sure what I mean by urban legends after reading this post. How about if I mentioned the woman with the crooked mouth, the axe man under the bed, the cat in the microwave oven, or the baby in the locker? The baby in the locker is a real thing, though. That's why they have, at least in Japan, baby drop-off lockers for abandoned babies. Just so the babies wind up, being safely retrieved. Chances are you heard at least one of them. I've never heard of the microwave. Most urban legends are scary stories like these, designed to make us feel fear and unease on basic primitive level. Compared to regular ghost stories, urban legends have an ambiguous part that says that this happened to someone somewhere. However, as rumors, these are inherently interesting and have an undeniable impact. You start wanting to believe that these things can actually happen. When you start wanting... Then you start wanting to tell them to others. These rumors that should be no big deal... They are rumors that should be no big deal, but yet they're kind of scary and interesting at the same time. This is the true identity of urban legends. Here now is one of those legends. Please decide for yourself whether or not to spread it amongst yourselves. A story. Have you ever wanted to know what the future holds? I have a good method for predicting it, so I will now share this with you. But this is a story heard from a friend of a friend, but bow 3 times to the northeast, then 3 times to the southwest, then call your own cell phone. Upon doing so, you will not hear the normal error message, but instead hear a woman say, who would you like to leave a message for? When you hear this woman's voice, you then say this, future, oh future, please come here. When you come, please reply. Once you've said this, turn the power off to your cell phone, wrap it in a red handkerchief, and put it in your left pocket. Upon doing this, you will get a phone call from the future within 24 hours. You will be asked what kind of future you would like to know, so you must respond to this within 10 seconds. Then the future will tell you about the future you wish to know. It's a weird sentence. However, if you do not answer the question within 10 seconds, you will be taken away by the future and forced to become its companion. What? Really getting bored. Whew, thanks for the explanation. I've been hearing talk about the future a lot lately. It's just following up Satoru, though. Who the fuck is Satoru? I don't know, this is all in Cephalon. Who the fuck is Satoru? Thanks for the summary! It's all just following up Satoru, though. Oh, I remember that. It was all the rage back in grade school. Don't you think this future thing is just an abbreviated version of the Satoru method? What the fuck is Satoru method? I wonder if it's too much trouble for kids today to have the phone ringing over and over again. I'm gonna see if I can find anything on that. Might not be able to because I'm not Japanese! Oh. Satoru-kun. Oh, I know Kawabana. I haven't watched their videos in a while. This is what Kawabana says about Satoru-kun. She has a video on that too. If you ever care to look at this channel up that I'm talking about, it's under Tara A. Devlin. Supposing there was a way to find out anything you wanted, would you try it? Just try using a public phone. Satoru-kun will answer any question you have. It's so simple that anyone can do it. You should give it a try. You'll need 3 things: a 10 yen coin, cell phone, and a public phone. The 10 yen coin is for the public phone. A telephone card or a different coin is no good. It must be a 10 yen coin or nothing else. First, find a public phone and put in the 10 yen coin. Call your own cell phone from it. Then, once you get through, turn towards the receiver and say the following: Satoru-kun, Satoru-kun, please come. Satoru-kun, if you're there, please reply. You must make sure not to mess up a single word. I would fuck this up so fast. Next, once you've finished the chant, hang up the receiver and end the call. Turn your cell phone off as well. Once you have done this, you'll receive a call from Satoru-kun within 24 hours. But Satoru-kun won't just call you once. He will call several times. You won't be able to question him just yet. Instead, Satoru-kun will tell you his current location. For example, I'm in so-and-so elementary school, or I'm in such-and-such park. Each time he calls, these locations will get closer and closer until he finally calls to let you know, I'm right behind you. At this point, you may ask him a question, but there is something you must be careful of. That is, you must understand under no circumstances, turn around. If you do, or if you don't ask your question, Satoru-kun will snatch you away. It is said that you can only ask Satoru-kun a single question, but he can correctly answer anything, even in the distant future. Okay, so that's what Satoru-kun is. Thank you, Tara A. Devlin! If you ever care, she does a lot of, like, scary Japanese stories and urban legends and stuff. I do recommend her. But yeah, good work in Cephalon. I wonder if it's too much trouble for kids to have the phone ringing over and over again. Unfortunately, it would cause me to have a panic attack. I personally think it's the most interesting part of the process. Thanks for the responses. He is thrilled as well. Really, thank you. Who is he you keep talking about? It's really bugging me. Is it just me, or do I smell more fascinating things to come? Lol. Oh, we're not done with the rumor board. Mystery of the world! I tried collecting the latest rumors. If you're interested, here they are. Number 1, little girl in the hall. Number 2, tuning fork. Number 3, tri-edge. The little girl in the hall. If you go to the Hulgrons Cathedral at 12 a.m. exactly, you will hear a girl crying. Those who hear this girl will fall into a coma after a week. But apparently, if you talk to 5 people within the week about your experience, you'll be spared from the coma. It just makes me think of those stupid fucking chain emails that used to go around all the time. If you don't send this to 20 friends, you will, like, die by this spirit haunting this email or some stupid crap. Also, these rumors say that a girl wearing white sometimes... What? Also, these rumors say that a girl wearing something like a white nightgown will sometimes appear before your very eyes. Tuning fork. If you hear the sound of a tuning fork in an area, you will fall into a coma. Of course, if this is true, I doubt anyone would have heard the sound would be around to start the rumor, lol. Tri-Edge. People who come across a triple-clawed twin blade in the game, of course, will fall into a coma in real life. These people also gain a triangular-shaped wound while in the coma. We're just full of coma rumors lately. Well, yeah, because that happened in R1. People fell into a coma playing the game, so it's not surprising that it would carry on in R2. I've heard stories along these lines. It's pretty scary. Please read Rumor Board! Good evening. I'm Nanase Mitabi. Good for you. Recently, it appears there is an increasing number of you who are failing to uphold local rules of this board. I thought this may be because many of you are coming here for the first time, so I decided to make this thread to clearly list the rules. Unlike other boards, there are several rules that are constantly in effect. Before you post here, please make sure to read the following responses. Thank you. 1. Adhere to thread rules. There are 4 types of threads on the rumor board. When making a new thread, please make sure it adheres to one of the 4. There are people out there who use this board as a serious reference, so please be thorough. Sightings/encounters. Please use this type when describing something you have seen or experienced for yourself. If it's something you've heard, please differentiate the type of thread between online and offline. Online rumors. Use this type when talking about rumors related to an online setting. Offline rumor. Use this type when talking about rumors related to a real-life setting. General. Use this type of general discussion threads to not fall into the previous 3 thread types. 2. No taunting. Based on the nature of the board, there will always be discussions about things that would not normally be considered as common sense. However, no matter how implorable you may think someone's post is, do not mock their views. 3. Good evening as a greeting. No matter what time of day it may be, always greet your fellow posters with good evening. There is no particular reason for this, it's just been a long-standing tradition of this board. Please uphold it. Okay. Point of caution. The things written in these threads here are rules pertaining only to the rumor board. Please stop bringing them to other board sites. That's all the rumors. I have been reading for an hour. Apkalu is just like fan art. Hello, my name is Masaru from Kyoto. I'm a student. Right now I'm studying English, so I log into the US server. I enjoy make many American friends. I am grateful for your bulletin board. Thank you for having me. That's some freaky art, my dude. Very nice. Guy? Walnuts cracked open... Rodriguez? What? Heap, I'm scared. Oh, but it's kinda cool. No, wait, definitely scary. Yeah, it's some scary artwork, but it's also, like, really cool looking. It's good for you. Masaru. Maria. Give me that. Hello everyone, call me Maria. I like the scenery of grassy fields, so I tried my hand at drawing one. It's really embarrassing because I know I'm not as good as everyone else here, but oh well. Mood. That's how I feel all the time posting any of my art. If there's someone here that likes it, I have other scenery I like, so I would like to post them as well. What areas do you like? Spaced out. Hey there, Maria. I really like the peaceful feeling from the grassy field. I like these fields too. I like clear days when I'm starting to like it when it rains too. I like it when it rains, but I live in the fucking desert, so it like never fucking rains, and if it rains, it's in the middle of the night and it's dark and you can't see it. Recently, I was running around a field, and at one point I got so excited that I couldn't keep myself from shouting, woohoo! Then my mom came in and said I was a bit creepy. Your mom is weird. I mean, I can see how someone looking in on us from the outside must think we're pretty strange, but still. I like nighttime myself. You can see the magic sparkling in the air. I also love the moon. The last hope of the world, Kazubolo, at your service. Hello, Kazubolo here. Sup? My real-life self lives in a place with a hot climate year-round, so I find myself drawn to snowscapes. I love the snow areas from R1. Of course, the Kazubolo troop would probably freeze to death since we're always walking around barefoot. Cool. Nice to meet you, Maria. I love the ocean area in the grasslands. I always like to run around the beach, kicking up sand as I go. You always use such cute colors in your pictures. Knackle. Salt. Everyone here is so good at drawing. It's amazing. The Kazubolo troop. Barefoot? Way to get derailed. A beautiful friendship. Is a Chim Chim. It seems that there's been a lot of PK and other suspicious guilds popping up these days that are making it harder to enjoy the game. Come on, can't we all get along? Love and peace, brother! Love and peace! Insert GIF of Vash. PKing is for losers. I bet the Chim Chims would agree with me. You're kicking the Chim Chims too, aren't you? Lol. You don't fool me. That Chim Chim on your soldier isn't carrying a Chim Sphere. In other words, you kicked that Chim Chim and took his sphere! Uh-oh, I've been found out. PKing is all part of parameters, right? It's up to the individual to decide whether or not it's for losers. I'm sorry, but PKers are edgy weirdos. Because that is part of the parameters, PKing is just another way to play. If you don't like PKing as it is found in the world, you're welcome to play something else. Go eat a bag of dicks. But I was PK'd together with a friend when we were playing on our own the other day. What was fucking Black Rose's brother's name? Was it Kazuki? It was a strange group of 3 people, and they were laughing as if they were really happy. I was so frustrated I felt like crying. Is that what you call parameters? I don't want to be told to put up or shut up with something ridiculous like that. Those that play with friends, and those that play solo. Those that enjoy collecting money more than raising their level, those who enjoy PKing, and those that enjoy PKing. There are many differences in the styles of play, but as long as they are part of the parameters, it is up to the individual players to choose which style they would pursue. No one can deny your choice to play with your friends, or the PKer's choice to PK. You can eat bag dicks. I don't want to be told to put up or shut up. No one is telling you to do that. Yeah, a lot of people are! There are plenty of games with no PKing at all, but the world is a game where PKing exists. You're literally saying put up or shut up. You're saying deal with it. Or leave. You know, that's all good and all, but why is there a heart mark on your Chim Chim is all I really wanted to hear. Denying other playing styles cannot be contained with a lighthearted joke. As for the heart mark, it's lovely. Lol. Cute, I love the heart mark. What is that, less than 3? Greater than 3? I don't remember. Same here, I wish I had a Chim Chim to ride on my shoulder. Chim Chims are cute. Oh look, it's a weird-ass drawing of Haseo. The other day, my character, she's called Half. Oh, it is Half. Mayako Half, by the way, was PK'd. But when that happened, someone in black and red came to save, ? Me? He was incredibly strong, and took out the PKers like it was nothing. But he didn't bring me back to life, so I have no idea if he really showed up there just to save me or not. Has anyone seen him? Here's a picture of what he looks like. Sorry, I don't remember more clearly, frowny face. Nope, never seen anyone like him, but I would love to meet him. Do you remember the words of the area you met him in? I don't suppose I could meet him if I went on a stakeout there, huh? But you know, I just realized there are tons of people dressed in black and red in the world. What is this, a joke? Are you sure that you weren't dreaming? Make sure you get some decent sleep now and then. Shut up, Blue-Eye Samurai, you can eat a bag of dicks. I saw that guy too, the guy in black and red. He kinda looked like this. It's a fucking alien. Knackle. So you've never met him? That's too bad. I'm afraid I don't remember the words. I just kinda put them in randomly. Lol. Yeah, I did the same. And yeah, you're right, there are a ton of people dressed like that, I'm sorry. Blue-Eye Samurai, maybe it is a joke. Lol, lately I've been unable to distinguish between the world and reality. That's a problem. Beast Hunter K, you saw him? Really? Wait a sec, that doesn't seem right, lol. I wouldn't have any blood left after meeting him. A vampire? Oh my god. Exotic guy. A red and black person! That's the same reason I also went off searching for an interesting person the other day. And when I happened to come across him, a guy in black and red! I was turning a corner in Makanu when I suddenly saw a shadow looming and ran right into its owner. When I looked up, all I saw was this incredibly thick chest. He said sorry, but I couldn't even see his face because of his damn chest. My dude! Look at them badonkers. And here I thought I was going to fall in love. I thought it was a light Indian breeze was going to blow from underneath his arm. Truly a bittersweet experience. Anyway, that's why I'm off to search for an interesting person again. Lol. Ah, silly Machi. Lol. You really are a great artist, but you don't seem to know the fine line between genius and idiocy. Fortunately, you have come down to the idiotic side. Tongue sticking out. Oh ho! I like it. Very street art-like. Nice. They say there's no one better at drawing than someone who can capture a gag well. But seriously, you're really good. I think I've become a genuine fan. I can't wait to see your next work. Good luck. This is Rotluf. Roll on the floor laughing. Rotlocopter. Ugh, my sides hurt from laughing too much. Are you sure it was really supposed to be red and black and not red and yellow? Lol. What, with the giant Buddha and the lotus and the red goggles? Well, I have no idea what is going on, but I bet the guy goes along with the monks on their begging trips. God, this is long. You have achieved perfect harmony, along with a fine line between unification and division of Indian and Oriental styles. It was so good, I actually lost track of myself for a moment. Truly incredible. Looking forward to your next work. Okay, thanks for the great responses. You are all getting some special treatment in the next one. Lol. Incidentally, the word idiot and weirdo are the word's greatest compliments. Lol. Miyako Half, are you sure that wasn't Haseo, the Terror of Death? I can't tell for sure because of how deformed he looks in the picture. Still, I think it's probably the Terror of Death. Did you ask him anything like... Did he ask you anything like, do you know Triage or something like that? Chim Soccer. Poor thing. I thought I'd try playing soccer with Chim Chims. I want to play, count me in. I wonder if we can get 11 players. Of course, I can't help feeling sorry for the Chim Chims. That's kinda mean, but I think I'd like to try too. Apologize to the poor Chim Chims, frowny face. Just keep believing and this will someday come true. Or rather, just a matter of time until CC Corp includes this in one of their updates. I'd like to kick them too, but I think I'll pass on doing headers with them. That's just gross. I'd like to be kicked myself. What the fuck is wrong with you, Blue Eye Samurai? You're a weirdo. I'd like to try kicking them too. You're looking at their faces, and you get this urge, and it starts to grow and build, and you finally kick them, and bam, you feel great again. So yeah, count me in for Chim Soccer. You people are weird. Join! How are you? I'm Machi. I'm an extreme noob who only just logged in for the first time the other day, but I'm already completely taken by the world. Recently I tried making a party for the first time, and it was so much fun I found myself drawing without realizing it. The above are nice people who joined my party. Raw Ham Sister, that's a name, is on the right, and the other one is Beach Boy. When we found a giant turtle, for some reason we were desperate for help. When we fought a giant turtle, for some reason, we were desperate for help. They also helped me get good items and build up my EXP, to which I am very grateful. I heard lots of stories about PKR, so I was secretly worried, but I'm very glad they turned out to be great people. I love the world. What lovely sentiments. You all draw good too. Blue Eye Samurai, you can fuck off and die. What a great illustration, but something about Beach Boy bothers me. I'm not sure. He's kinda creepy. Eep. Nice to make your acquaintance. I'm known as Julius. Oh, what a beautiful illustration. I hope you will let me accompany you on a future endeavor. I also hope you will draw me in another wonderful illustration afterwards. Hi there, I'm Mako Half. Oh no, it's Kazubolo. He's coming up. You're an amazing artist. Wow. Well, you've got... what's the word? Talent? Whatever it is, I'm jealous. There is Kazubolo. Oh, just so I'm clear, this isn't a post for singles get-together or anything. Lol. Allow me to start introducing myself. I am the last hope of the world. The one known as Kazubolo, the red-eyed swordsman. I am currently level 9 and undergoing daily training. My playtime motto is bright, fun, and balanced. Everyone, I hope you will welcome me into your ranks. Your level's awfully low for being the last hope. Ouch, don't hold back. Oh, ouch, I see you don't hold back. Well, since I'm the world's last hope, right now I'm not even a first hope. Frowny winky face? Which is why I am currently looking for comrades to help me save the world someday. Lol. Afro, arson! Admin, doesn't this picture fall under public solicitation? Isn't that allowed? Is this allowed? That's true, this board is supposed to be for people to post their drawings and receive feedback, so not really the appropriate place to party solicitations. But he did put up a picture, so I'm going to call it a gray zone and leave it up to the admins. Besides, who am I to decide the rules of the board? If there's a problem with the post, feel free to delete it. Admins, deletion key 1234. No topic. Party solicitations fall under the following prohibited behaviors. Please be more careful in the future. Please refrain from the posts that contain advertising or personal diary content. However, since you posted an illustration, the self-introduction part is not a problem at all. Don't be so formal! Join up with me! Shut up, Blue Eye Samurai, you're an asshole. Another one from drawing from Machi. The other day, I immediately made a party with Julius and went off adventuring. We thought we could use another in the party, so we invited a passerby, Jin, to join. And here to commemorate is a picture of the Rainy Field Trio. Thanks, Julius. Good work the other day. Oh, I love this one. I am indebted to you for drawing me so well. To think the pouring rain adventure would leave a beautiful picture like this. Whoa, that looks just like Jin. Lol, he has some character. He was some character, wasn't he? He's a bit concerned about his hair, though. I hope the three of us can go off dungeon traipsing again. Thanks for a good time. Traipsing is not exactly a word I see all that often. Okay, let's save really quick. Just in case, so I can get here. Let's just do official forum and... Medic Union. How fare thee, citizens? My name is Governor Tadashi of the Medic Union. I used to be known as the 100-man killer, as well as the 100-man healer, but cough cough. It's nothing, pardon me, my chronic disease. My guild is here to bring love, bravery, and healing to the world, and our battle is never-ending. However, the power of evil is great. The voices yearning for healing grow louder every day. You there, you passionate fiery ones! Don't you want to do everything you can to smash this awful situation? Well, you're in luck, because I'm searching for warriors just like yourself. If your heart burns as hot as mine, come and fight by my side. Let us yell together, let it be known that healing will return to the world. I eagerly await your application to join. Enter qualifications. As long as you have a fiery passion dancing in your heart, you're qualified to join. Bruh. Entry procedure. Look at our members list. In the next response, whisper me a color not found on the list, and I will come meet you myself to give you instructions. I mean, praise you, personally. Finally, I will give you a healing changer at home key, and with that, you will be a member of the Medic Union too. Duties. Protect the innocent from attacks of the black-hearted monsters sent from the evil organization Badass. Ass is at $$. Should make sense, because, you know, online censorship. If there are no monsters to be found, heal the people of that area. Say Nyan at the end of your sentences. Since I govern this guild, I don't say Nyan myself. Our character models are all to be the Two tribe. That's strict. There are 18 names. These 18 names are our current member list. I'm not going to say the colors. I'm not going to say these names, who cares? Thread and response. I'm sorry, but this is a question completely unrelated to the world, but what exactly are threads and responses? I see everyone using terms like creating a new thread or side responses, but I'm afraid I have no idea what they mean. I'm a total beginner at computers, so I've only had mine for 2 weeks, so if anyone could explain these to me without too much jargon, I'd be grateful. Again, 2006. Threads are, well, this is the thread right here. It's used to refer to a string of posts in a forum that talk about a particular subject. For example, someone posts a question to a forum. Someone posts a response to that question. Someone else posts another response. This is how threads get built around a certain subject, with people writing response after response. Creating a new thread refers to the act of one, which is to start a new topic of discussion. Response. A response is just that, a response to a certain subject in a thread. Side responses are when one person posts a response in the middle of a conversation two other people are having through responses. Did that help? Okay, so basically starting from my first post talking about threads and responses, and continuing all the way down to this post is a thread, right? And the things you wrote to help me are called responses, right? Is that correct? It sure is! Good job on picking it up quickly. It's all thanks to you, thank you so much. God, the days where people were completely unfamiliar on how the internet fucking worked. Elementals? Hello there, I just started playing recently. That said, I have a question right off the bat. Normal RPGs always have elements like fire and water, right? Does the world have things like that too? I'd appreciate someone filling me in. It sure does. There are 6 elements altogether: fire, water, wind, earth, light, and dark. But the current version doesn't have light and dark implemented, so right now it's just pretty much the other 4. Actually, there are 9 elements in total: fire, water, wind, earth, light, dark, neutral, physical, and magical. Among these, fire and water, earth, wind and earth, and light and dark are connected as opposing elements. Opposing elements are elements that cancel each other out, and each element's opposite element is also its weak point. Example, fire monsters are weak against water, water monsters are weak against fire. Oh. Neutral is just that, an element that doesn't belong to any of the 6. Physical refers to regular attacks and arts attack. Physical refers to regular attacks and art attacks performed with A. Magical, on the other hand, refers to spell attacks. Anyway, that's a rough explanation. Hope that helps. Thanks a lot. If I have any more questions, I will ask. God, so many monsters that run away. Okay, we've all seen an animal, that runs away from you at an amazing speed in both fields and dungeons, right? Can anyone tell me what that is? I don't think it's a monster. It's probably a chim-chim or a lucky animal. The question is, which one? What did that animal look like? Kind of like a horse, or maybe a bird, or maybe an anteater? It looked like a bunch of things. That's a lucky animal. I don't think it was a monster. You're right, it isn't. It's an NPC, which, if you run and catch up to it and kick it, it will give you a lucky effect, an effect that's very beneficial to the player. It's a pretty useful effect, so do your best tracking them down and kicking them. So what kind of effects will it give me? The effects depend on the looking animal's appearance, shape. Yes. Here are some examples. Moon Rabbit. Rabbit. It is rabbit-shaped. Gives experience to all party members. Ganesha, Elephant, raises your max HP and SP to 1.5 times their normal max for limited time. Baku, Anteater, gives you a lot of consumable items. Nue, a monkey with a snake for a tail, summons a King Chim Chim. There are a lot of other effects besides these. Try searching for them in different areas and give them a shot. Got it. Thanks a lot. Big Chim Chim. Nice to meet you all. I'm Den Decadin. The other day I broke a barrel in a dungeon and a strange Chim Chim came out all of a sudden. Then the Chim Chim attacked me. I was surprised and inevitably ran away. But what on earth was that? Could someone please tell me? I appreciate it. It came out of a barrel, right? In that case, it was probably a King Chim Chim. King Chim Chims are a special kind of Chim Chim, however, it's not a monster. Normal Chim Chims drop Chim Spheres and run away if you kick them, but King Chim Chim gets mad and will get mad and counterattack you if you kick them. King Chim Chim's main attacks are a mid-air breath attack. Then there's a faint shadow beneath where King Chim Chim will land, so try to maneuver yourself behind the landing spot, so not to get crushed, then kick him several times upon his landing. Once you defeat King Chim Chim, you will receive a large number of Chim Spheres. Good luck. Huh, okay, so they're called King Chim Chims. I never would have thought of any kind of Chim Chim that attacked players, so that was quite a surprise. Ptolemaea? Thank you for the information. The next time I see a King Chim Chim, I will do my best to take it down. The dark guy PK'd me. While we were walking around the area, we were PK'd by a guy dressed in all black. At first we thought it was just someone being annoyed and changed our area, but he followed us to the new location. I guess it was one of those new stalker PKs. At any rate, he kept following us everywhere. When I asked him why he PK'd, he wouldn't even answer me. Man, that guy was creepy. We tried to fight back once, but we were no match for him, and our whole group was wiped out. It was heartbreaking. Sigh. That must have been rough for you. I've been PK'd before too, so I know what it's like. It really sucks. I won't say all PKing is bad, but pointless stalker PKing shouldn't be allowed. It's against the law to stalk people in real life, so why should it be any different online? I'm hoping the law changes to prevent such cases. It won't. Please don't let it get you down. June Pride, don't let the PKers win by giving up the world. What the hell's up with that? The guy followed you all around without saying a word? What a jerk. I wonder what's going on in the world lately. With all of these bugs and stalker PKers, it's getting to be too much. And for that matter, don't go crying just because you got hurt. What kind of guy was it? If you want, I'll track him down myself and set him straight. Beatrice, Stella, thank you both. I'll do my best. You're right, I won't back down from a stalker. What kind of guy was it? He was a partisan with the same design as me. His entire body was giving off a black effect or some sort, so I think he must have gone some kind of rare item or ability. His name was... Sorry, I forgot. If you want, I'll track him down and set him straight. Don't be ridiculous, he was super strong. Wow, that must have been rough. By any chance, was the PKer named Doppelganger? By any chance... Oh, you're right. That was it. But how did you know? Is he a famous PKer or something? I mean, it's a monster. What do you mean? Well, there's a monster like that out there. It's a monster that takes on the exact appearance of a player and normally doesn't do much except wander around. But when it spots the player, it'll attack without notice. It's set to have a much higher level than the player it's attacking, so theoretically no one can beat them, even though there's an HP cap. The reason why you felt like it was following you everywhere is because they're in every field. but for some reason they don't show up in dungeons. I wonder why. If you ever see one, well, the best thing to do is run away without being spotted. No way, so it wasn't a PK, or it was just a monster, huh? I'm so embarrassed. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. Now, there's no need for that. Everyone has things they don't know. Smiley face. Oh, yeah. If you end up fighting a doppelganger again, just use a smokescreen and run away immediately. That way, you should be able to avoid having your whole party wiped out. Good luck on your adventures. Playing in a group. Hi there, I'm Black Cat in... Bart. This is my first post, so I'm kinda nervous. I have a question of sorts. The other day I ended up becoming leader for a group, but it was my first time, so I didn't know what to do. And I'm afraid I made things unpleasant for the other party members. Actually, they told me to my face how much I sucked. What are some other things I should do to be a better lead? Ugh. What are some things that I should do to better lead a party? I eagerly await your instruction. The main things to keep in mind when leading a party is to have a good strategy before setting out. I don't strategize that kind of shit. Make sure everyone knows who will attack, who will heal, etc. Make a balanced party. As much as possible, try to create a party that is well balanced in both offense and defense. The ideal is 2 swordsmen and 1 cleric. Always gotta have a healer with you. Choose an area appropriate for your party. The odds will only be against you if you try to go to an area with monster levels that are over your head. Straightforward approach to an area with a level that fits your party will do much more to raise your experience and fill your inventory. Double check your expendable items. Make sure you know beforehand who has many HP and SP recovery items as well as resurrection items. If there's someone with no items, be prepared to share some of your own when necessary. That's all I can think of. I think your actions during battles are also important. For example, giving clear orders to fit the immediate battle situation and making sure to pull off Rengekis when the chance presents itself. Have a good grasp on when to use Awakening. I also think that a leader needs to be brave or decisive enough to run away from a battle when needed. Mitan, I guess double-checking items and area settings is the leader's job. I left it up to someone else to do it the last time I became leader. The next chance I get, I hope to be able to handle these things effectively. Thank you for your help. Harley, I'm sorry, could you be more specific? It would really help me out if you provided some specific examples of what you mean. Sorry to be selfish after you went out of your way to teach me. Okay, here are some examples. Giving clear orders that fit the battle. There are times during battles when your pre-arranged plans have no effect. When this happens, the leader is expected to have the ability to form a new strategy that meets the needs of the battle on the spot. To be more specific, not much damage is being dealt to an enemy. Have everybody attack it all at once, or conserve SP and make it into an endurance fight. Recovery can't keep with damage received. Have more people help with healing, or use a smokescreen and retreat. Make sure to pull off Rengekis given the chance. To ensure you use Rengekis when necessary, don't go crazy on your skill trigger. If you use the skill trigger too much, there will be times when you have a chance for a chain attack, and you can't use the skill trigger, so you miss the chance. To prevent this, you need to limit the times you use the skill trigger. For example, in my case, I use the skill trigger during the following. As soon as the battle starts, when the enemy targets an HP member... Wow. A party member with little HP when an enemy tries to use a skill. Have a good grasp on when to use an Awakening. This is basically the same as a skill trigger. Awakening is a powerful method of attacking, but if you use it too early, you just wasted it and it didn't have a big effect. For example, use it when fighting a strong boss-level enemy. Use it when your companions are in trouble. Use it to defeat an enemy wielding status elements such as sleep, etc. How's that? Did that help? Oh yes, definitely. Thank you for all your help. The next time I become leader, I will do whatever I can so that my party members will approve of me. More just on this. Soloing. Hi there, everyone. I'm Tricycle Cop. It's not Officer Tricycle. Okay. Don't get them mixed up. Here's my question. I would like to try the soloing thing. Basically, I want to be a so-called hardcore player. Any tips will help me do... Any tips that'll help me do this will be appreciated. Thank you very much. Personally, I don't care much for the idea of solo play in an online game, but oh well, here's the basic of solo play. I'm somebody who would be a solo player because I don't want to play with strangers. Conserve items. Even if you're a cleric, it is essential to conserve items that will restore your HP and SP. It's also not a bad idea to bring along attack items that will be useful for the area you plan on visiting. Make sure you have an escape plan. Always have smoke screens and return feathers on you. Know the shortest path back to the platform from where you are in case you run out of items. Research the area you plan on visiting. Check out if there are enemies that have status ailments causing skills in the area you're going to. When playing solo, contracting a status ailment is a quick path to disaster, so it might be better to avoid areas with enemies like that. It's not much, but hopefully this will help. Sir Harley, I appreciate your guidance. I have a question about your third point. How precisely should one go about investigating what kind of monsters await in an area? Why not try making an area, transporting there, and then immediately transporting back to town? What exactly do you mean? Make an area and transport there. Confirm the enemies that reside there from a distance where they won't spot you, as well as how the map is configured and its size. After checking on them, go back to town. Repeat this and look for an area that's appropriate for you. But be careful. When you are close enough to an enemy to see their name, it also means you're close enough for them to spot you. Write down the points you need to keep in mind when fighting solo battles. I hope they'll help. 1. Use guard and charge attacks, knockbacks well. When you think an enemy is about to attack, guard before attacking. If you become surrounded, run away to a safer spot, knock back enemies that follow with a charge attack, and try to fight them one-on-one. Use skill trigger usage. When soloing, it's better to focus on stopping an enemy's skills rather than trying to pull off Rengekis. Save your skill trigger attacks for when you really need them. Don't be stingy with items. That's my problem. Using fewer items will just lead to more deaths. Don't be afraid to use a lot of them. That's all I can think of. Sir Killer Whale Sir Benji, thank you for both your guidance. I have one last question. I am currently a level 10 Punisher. Could you tell me the best area for one such as myself to level up? Thank you. For these areas... Don't care, not gonna read them off. These are pretty good. First word should be just right for you, and the second should be for a good challenge. With that level, you should have a good selection of the following words. Just random words. Go on and try out a lot of combinations. Combining new words is yet another way to learn. You too, I am indebted. Truly indebted. I will do the best that I can. Good luck. Words. Monster's field vision. I have a question about monster visibility. Whenever I try to ambush a monster, I end up getting spotted. And because I'm an adept rogue, I rarely get invited to parties. It'll only get worse if they find out that I can't even ambush a monster. I'm not even that good at action games or real-time stuff in the first place, so I'm really in a fix. Could someone tell me how to ambush right? Any help would do, thank you. For most monsters, their blind spot is behind their backs. If you just approach them from behind, it won't matter if you're walking or running, they won't spot you. But even if you approach monsters from behind, there are still times where they get an exclamation point above their heads. I really don't get it. But then, before I know it, I'm in a battle. Am I the only one that has this problem? Get an exclamation point. Yep, I know just what you're talking about. I think that happens because the monsters have turned around or something has spotted you. Don't worry about it, everyone makes mistakes, especially when they're just starting out. Watch the anime! In all caps. Applestar summed up the theory quite well. but if you're not naturally good at action or games, then it can be really hard to know what to do. So at those times, it is best to learn firsthand. Make an area where there's no way you can die, like Area 1 or something, and start monster watching. While you're watching the monsters, you should notice that their behavior follows certain rules and patterns. Things like they walk for a bit, stop, look in a different direction, etc. Once you've got their movements down, it's time to start practicing your approach. Run up to them quickly when they're facing away from you. If you keep practicing like this, it'll become second nature in time. Good luck. Yeah. Another reason why that happens is maybe you didn't know that the field of vision differs with each monster. That might also be part of your problem. Applestar, you helped me see the light. Whenever the exclamation point shows up, I always panic and lose track of what's happening. It's a relief to finally understand what happened. Waffle. Renji. Oh yeah, you're right. That's a great way to keep me from panicking when I'm learning. Thank you for the support. I'll do my best. Bartels. Each monster has a different field of vision. Man, I didn't know that. In detail. Well then, let me explain. Every monster has a different range of vision depending on how they look. You can broadly divide the monsters into groups of regular, birds, beasts, and large things. It's a summary of their different field of view. Radius range. Regular, narrow, short. Birds, wide, far. Beasts, very narrow, far. Large beasts, wide, far. Or large monsters. Radius refers to a fan-shaped area in front of the monsters that represent their field of view, and range refers to how far the area extends forward. The wider the radius and the farther the range means that you just have to be more careful sneaking up to them. Since this has gotten kind of long, I'll go into more detail on the different types in a separate post. Oh my lord. Okay, here we go. First we got regular types. Regular monsters don't have a wide radius and they can't see very far. When sneaking up on them, just run up from behind. If you have to sneak up on them from the side, well, just be careful. The most common regular is the goblin. After that is lizards and beezels. Bezels? Beezels? Whatever. Weasel. Birds. Next we have bird monsters. Bird monsters are always flying around, which means that they have a wide radius when looking down. That's why you have to sneak up on birds from directly behind them. If you try to sneak up from the side, you'll be spotted easily. These guys make it really hard to score an ambush. They're easily the most frustrating monster around. Most common monster birds are Ravenclaw. After that, it's Beaver Horse and Scavenger? Beasts. Next up are beast monsters. Beast monsters have a very narrow radius, but they can see pretty far ahead as long as it's directly in front of them. In other words, as long as you don't approach them from the front, they're basically no danger. You're in no danger of being spotted by them. You can approach them from the right and the side, and they'll never notice you. If you sneak up on them from behind, they won't spot you, even if they turn around. The most common beast monsters are fangs. After that are probably kettles and carriers. Large monsters. Then the petite women. Then the large women again. Lastly, large monsters. Like bird monsters, large monsters also look down from above and search for players. Their field of view is roughly the same as bird monsters, though there are some large monsters who have less range than bird monsters. Unlike bird monsters, or you could just say birds, large monsters are really slow. Large monsters are slow, really slow. If you're fast enough, you can successfully run away even after they spot you. The way to approach them is basically the same as bird monsters, but you can probably approach large monsters as aggressively as you want. Common large monsters is the steam shell. After that is the crumpled tree and the hecaton foot. That was really informative. Thanks a ton for summing it all up for me, though I don't know if I can keep track of all that info. Don't worry, you'll learn these naturally the more you play. That's how it worked for me. Before I knew it, I realized I already knew a lot about these, lol. Rather than getting caught up in the text of all this information, just go out and have fun. Can't go to an area. As the topic says, I can't go to the areas I want to. I tried going to the areas a lot of times, but keep getting the same pitiful, weak enemies. I'm a level 3 Blade Brandier. Please help, thanks. New? You mean that you don't know how to use the Chaos Gates? Do you understand what parameters are? Not a clue. A friend told me a lot when I first logged in, but I have no idea what he's talking about. Would you mind telling me? Just leave it to me, lol. Well, when you open the Chaos Gate, you have a lot of difficult parameters, right? But there are only two that are really important. Area level and treasure level. Just remember these two and you'll be set. You shouldn't have any problems. There's a lot more stuff to do with these, but that's just for advanced players. You'll be fine without them, so don't worry. Okay, my next post will explain area level and treasure level. Area level is the parameter that determines the level of monsters in the area. In the world, monsters have levels just like players, because their levels are set up the same way as ours. If the area level is higher than your player level, that means the monsters will be stronger than you. The same goes for the other way around. When setting up the area, if you want to go, try setting up areas like this. When playing solo, set it to 3 or 4 levels beneath your own. When playing in a group, set it to the same as the party's average or 1 to 3 levels higher. Next is... oh, this will get too long. If I keep writing here, I'll write about treasure in my next post. Treasure level represents the quality of items that are found in item boxes, treasure chests, wooden boxes, and whatever you want to call them. The bigger the parameter, the better the items are in the item boxes. Especially if you want to get good items, make sure to use words that will raise this parameter. And last but not least, when you want to get items as easily as possible, try playing around with the third part of the area word. Depending on how you go about it, you might get an area with weak monsters but has great items. Of course, you can't go wrong with setting both area and treasure level high so you can get tons of items and experience. This should get you to any area you want. Got it? Thank you very much. I think I have the right idea now. I'm gonna go I'm gonna try going to a Chaos Gate right away. Let me add this for beginners. It may be good practice setting the area level that you want, focus on treasure level after. If you think settings are just too hard, try random. This will automatically adjust the settings to an area that will send it to you. It's also very easy, like pulling a lever on a slot machine. Try it out and see what you think. Last one of this part. My map stopped displaying. Is this a bug? Should I email CC Corp about this? What should I do? Somebody help me! Octomayonnaise is a name. Please calm down, Waffle. Second, try logging into the world again. Your map should reappear. Give it a shot even if you don't believe me. Wow, Renji, my map is displayed just fine. Thanks a ton. So basically, if this happens, I just need to log out and then log back in, right? Well, that will work too. I'll write down an easier way to help you out. You can change the map's display status by pressing back. These changes occur the following order. Normal, displayed in the top left corner, enlarged, full screen display. You check the mission info and stuff on the screen. Normal again, if it goes in a loop. You can press B when the map is enlarged to close it completely. If you want to bring it back, just press back and it'll open again in normal mode. So while it's true logging out and coming back in will cause the map to return to normal, it's also a pain in the butt. So you should just remember to press back. I see, so I just need to press back and change the way the map is displayed, and when it's enlarged, I can press B to close it completely. Got it. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it. That's it for the official forum. Now, all of this in the official site. The world is an MMO RPG, massively multiplayer online RPG, enjoyed by many players worldwide. Gain fame as a top-class adventurer, become Emperor of the Colosseo, take part in quests and explore the world, or just relax and take in the gorgeous scenery. There is more than one way to enjoy the world and more than one path to take. You, too, can become a resident of the world and live the life you desire. Crest and Steam Technology, Chaos Gate. This is a crest device that is the key to creating a barrier that stops monsters from invading the town. Each town has at least one Chaos Gate, so you must use it to warp to a field or a dungeon. Steam Alchemy. There is an alchemy device created by combining Steam and Crest technology. Just toss any item in, from old equipment to spare items, and the device will transform it into a different item. Though the device was first intended to transform scrap iron into gold, the type of items can be transformed are now restricted by law, as economists worried about it wreaking havoc. Steam Bike. A steam-powered bike invented by humans, it's an extremely expensive item. Riding around on one of these is guaranteed to earn you jealous stares from the people in town. A gondola. The gondola has historically been used to navigate the canals of Makanu. If you say so. I don't see it being ever used in R2 Makanu. Transportation provided by gondolas used to be essential for everyday life, but the steady advance in technology, they have mostly lost their original purpose, becoming more of a tourist attraction for Makanu. History. Genesis of grief. Long, long ago, before the earth and the heavens existed, two brothers lived in the world. That's a funky art. Able to read each other's hearts without so much as a glance, these two were fully satisfied. The world was two. The world was two. The two were the world. One day, the elder deity accidentally broke the younger deity's treasured sword. Furious, the younger deity retaliated by slashing the elder deity's treasured spear with his broken sword. The spear was split in half, and the elder deity erupted in anger. And so, glaring at each other, one holding his broken sword, the other holding his broken spear, they fought. The war waged for 7 days and 7 nights. On the 8th day, the younger deity realized their foolishness and went to the elder deity to request a truce. But the elder deity, still blind with rage, saw this as an opening and thrust his spear. The spear pierced the chest of the younger deity and took his life. The younger deity's final breath became the heavens, and his fallen body became the earth. The fountain of blood erupted high and became the sun. The broken sword shattered and formed the moons and stars of the heavens. Feeling great shame, the elder deity wept. His tears became rain and fell to earth, forming oceans in its deep contours. For eternal tranquility, the world was set into motion. New life! The elder deity mourned the loss of the younger deity for many years, but eventually he grew accustomed to his sad, lonely life. One day, unable to bear his loneliness any longer, the elder deity removed one of his eyes and created a goddess. This is kind of like the Izanagi and Izanami, except they didn't fight each other. I think it was Izanagi took out his eye and made one of the gods at one point. The new goddess looked at the elder deity and exclaimed, "Thou art handsome," and with her voice, the world was filled with sound. The elder deity and the new goddess gave names to each other. The elder deity received the name Sol, the god of creation, and the goddess Mulin, the goddess of harvest. Then the elder deity created a land of the dead in the darkest part of the world. He sealed the spirit of the younger deity and gave him the name Cernunnos, the Lord of the Dead. This is how things were named and given a purpose. Fish. Sol gave birth to more gods and goddesses. Mulin gave the new gods names, and Sol gave them purpose. One ruled the sun, and another ruled the seas. One ruled the weaving thread, and another the stoves. This is how the sun traveled the sky, did the oceans beat against the shores, the loom spit out threads, and the stoves held fire within. Sol then gave birth to trees, plants, beasts, birds, fishes, and insects. They sped throughout the world, each finding a place to live. The world was filled with life. The last to be created were the elves. Sol created them in his image, and it was them who he loved best. Sol asked all of the gods and the creatures to grant elves their blessings. Each god, goddess, and creature happily gave its blessings to the elves. As a result, the elves were faster, stronger, smarter, and more beautiful than any other creature, and moreover, they could speak the languages of all creatures. However, Cernunnos, the Lord of the Dead, withheld his blessing from the elves. Unaware of darkness, the elves' hearts were ever wrapped in light, but because of it, they had an incredible innocence to them. The Fools. The gods entrusted the earth to the elves and created their own realm in the heavens, known as Erseltrae, the City of Dawn. And so the elves ruled the earth and the gods ruled the heavens. The gods built a path connecting earth and heaven and called it the Heavenly Path. The Heavenly Path was used to deliver the light of the heavens and the gods down to earth. Guarded by the light of the sun and the light of the gods, life on earth flourished, and it seemed that peace would last forever. But as time passed, the elves began to believe that their powers equaled those of the gods. They built the aerial fortress Fort Oath. I remember Fort Oath. In the sky to enter the realm of the gods, insisting that they too be treated as deities. Sol was furious, and he took from the elves all that was good in them. The elves became slower, weaker, and uglier than any other creature. Muehlin scorned these foolish creatures and named them humans. Cool. The despised. There are some who protested the treatment of the elves at the hands of the gods. These were the elves who had not wished to challenge the gods to begin with. That's a funky little guy. They stormed the heavenly path and threw themselves before the gods, crying, "Why must you punish us when it was not we who drew our swords against you?" The gods answered, "That is true, but that is not the only sin." The elves asked again, What do you mean by that, O gods?" The gods answered back, "Very well then, when your brethren raised their swords against us, where were you and what were you doing?" To that the elves replied, "We were at the altars praying to you, our gods. We prayed that the fools who disobeyed you would receive your divine punishment." The gods retorted, "Were you not merely praying that your own lives will be spared?" The elves' faces turned red and they could not reply. Suddenly the gods showed their anger. "You are more foolish than the fools who do not know their place, lower than the humans. From this day on, you will wear a mark showing your purpose, your supposed innocence and piety." And just as this thundering judgment was made, each of the elves that gathered at the heavenly path began to transform. They grew tails, their beautiful faces turned into those of beasts. And when they saw how they had changed, they screamed in shame and disappeared into the dark corners of the world. Grunty race. Having lost their wisdom, humans brought war and chaos to the world. They had been reduced to creatures concerned only with domination, so they commenced to make war on other races. Sol gazed down in sadness at the ruined earth and decided to use the goodness that he had taken from the elves and create the race of grunties. He dispatched them to return peace to the world. Boop. But the gods were afraid that the grunties would suffer the same flaws as the elves and voiced objections to Sol's action. And so Sol cast a curse upon the grunties and proclaimed, "Listen carefully to me. I have cast a spell on you. It is a curse and a magic word is its key. It is a curse and a magic word is its key. If someone, even just one person on Earth, says this word, a terrible calamity will befall every one of you." The Grunties beseeched him, "Great Lord, then how may we ensure this calamity does not come to pass?" Sol nodded his head and answered, "You must not oppress others. You must not be bitter. You must not be envious. Have a good and pure heart and live your days peacefully." The secret word was told to all of the gods and all of the creatures, except for humans. The gods were satisfied and the Grunties were sent down to Earth. Without shedding a drop of blood, the Grunties stopped the violence of the humans. Overjoyed, the gods created magical powers and bestowed them upon the Grunties. But even with such great power, the Grunties did not fall prey to the pride of sin. The sin of pride. Banquet of conspiracy. The Grunties were loved by all creatures, with the exception of the bitterly jealous humans. This was because all of the things that made Grunties so wonderful had once belonged to the humans. Humans began to look for Grunties' weaknesses and learned of the curse that Sol had cast on them. Overjoyed, the humans set out to learn the secret word, but even the normally talkative monkey would not betray it. So, the humans held a banquet and invited all of the gods and creatures in order to fog their minds with drink. One after another, the guests became intoxicated until finally only the snake, the strongest drinker, remained. The snake would still not divulge the secret word, so humans brought out the strongest drink and gave it to the snake. As expected, the snake became drunk and told the secret word to the humans. The humans rejoiced and intoned the word. Immediately, the Grunties lost their intelligence and found themselves unable to stand upright. Humans called them Buchipongo and made them into beasts of burden. Then they proceeded to rekindle their war against other races. That's a face. For telling the secret word, the snake was punished by forever having to crawl about the earth on its stomach. Path of evil! The gods fell into despair, Zetaboshta. Over the humans' deeds, they created a great gateway called Marugobaro and blocked off earthly access to the heavenly path so none could evermore enter heaven. Along with the sealing of the heavenly path, the light of the gods was also blocked from Earth. Without the protection of the gods, the Earth gradually became wilder and began to be corrupted by a dark power called the Shadow. In the vile influence of the Shadow, the Earth overflowed with monsters and demons. These demons roamed the world and killed everything in their path. Many creatures were lost as a result of their brutality. Humans came under attack by the monsters. They formed barriers in the major cities and closed themselves off. They fought against the monsters, but lost battle after battle. One by one, cities were cut off from each other, and barriers protecting the cities were destroyed one after another. Finally, only 5 cities remained standing. Little doot horns. Goddess Aurora. The savior of mankind was a young apprentice magician. He confined himself in the temple of Arcane Kelm and prayed to the gods. In exchange for his life, he was able to call upon 6 great spirits and 2 goddesses. The 8 gods summoned were Vulcan, the fire spirit, Meros, the water spirit, Krake, the wood spirit. Yeah, we've seen these names in IMOQ. Yarthkins, the earth spirit, Lancior, the lightning spirit, Wernek, the darkness spirit, Anu, the star goddess, and Aurora, the goddess of light. The light of the gods shined once more on the blessed earth, and the shadow was contained. Thanks to the newfound peace, humans once again prospered, but it did not last long. Once the threat of the shadow was gone, humans began to fight with each other. After sealing the shadow, the 8 gods and goddesses remained on Earth, but some were angered by the foolishness of humans and others grieved their wretchedness and left, until only Aurora remained. Fearing that the light of the heavens would again depart the Earth, the humans placed 8 curses on Aurora and sealed her inside of Hulgron's cathedral. Oh my lord. Battle against the gods. When the gods learned that a goddess had been imprisoned, their fury knew no bounds, and they vowed to destroy mankind. But the humans had no intention of meekly succumbing to extinction, and used their magic powers to devise a weapon that they could use to fight against the gods. So began the war between the gods and the humans. The humans were no match for the powers of the gods. The aerial city of Fort Oath fell from the sky, and the highland city of Don Leorg was crushed beneath it. The cultural city of Carmina Gadalika was destroyed by the god of lightning, and many lives were lost. As a last resort, humans took all of Aurora's power, transformed it into magic power, and fired it at the heavens. Heaven was engulfed in flame, and the gods fled or fell, burning to die upon the earth. The humans sacrificed much as well. The relic city, Leofael, from whence the goddess's power was fired, was reduced to ashes, and many excellent magicians died with it. So ended the Age of the Gods. God's Rebirth. All the gods in heaven disappeared, but a single god who remained on earth lived. It was the god of law, Falset, who guarded the gate and blocked the heavenly path. Winning the war against the gods, the humans wanted the wisdom and power of the gods for themselves, storming Marugabaro and demanding that Falset invite them into the realm of the gods, but Falset refused to grant them entry. That's not what Falset looks like. At first, the humans pointed their weapons at Falset and demanded that he open the gate. But Falset answered, "Do whatever you wish. There is no way any of your weapons can harm me." The humans followed his words and tried to attack Falset in any way they could, but they were unable to harm a single hair on his head. Once they learned that force was hopeless, they tried to convince him to open the gates by seducing him with gifts. After seeing the gifts, Falset said, "Build a mountain of gifts for me, if you wish. I'll make a mountain twice the size in an instant." Before Falset was even finished completing his sentence, a mountain of gifts, more lavish than the gifts of the humans, sprang up before their eyes. After learning that both force and flattery were of no avail, the humans got on their knees and begged pathetically. If a power greater than a shadow should emerge, we would fall into ruin, but if we could regain the wisdom and power that lies beyond the gate, we would be able to protect ourselves and not fight one another, so please open the gate. Falset laughed and answered them. "Was it not you who took up sword and shield and slew the gods? You should suffer for your sins." Protesting, the humans replied, "So are you saying that we have simply allowed the gods to drive us all to extinction?" Falset shook his head and answered, "Recall first the sins that you have committed. Is it not just that sinners receive judgment?" To this the humans could make no reply. Falset continued to speak. "But all humans have the right to atone for their sins. Human, child of sin, if you want this gate opened, then bring back the lost gods. The gods will rise again, born from the dogma of believers. If they are true gods, then I will open this gate, bring back what has been lost, and only then can you be pardoned." So the gods argued over the gods' rebirth, and once again made war against each other. World without gods. Without the gods, the world fell into stagnation. With none to command them, the sun stood in place, and the tides ceased to ebb and flow. The looms gave forth no thread, and the ovens no warmth. Mankind had to perform all of these functions themselves. Despite these hardships, humans did not cease their wars with each other. Soon they invented different types of magical tools to improve their lives. 10 years after the Great War with the Gods, a researcher visited the ruins of Fort Oaf. Many had avoided the ruins of the fort, Leofael, Carmine, Catalika, and Dunleog after the Great War, in fear and hatred that they were haunted by the spirits of the dead gods and goddesses. This belief was further enhanced by the fact that most who set out to explore the ruins never came back. However, this particular researcher did return, and he brought along with him a creature with the body of a human and the head of an animal. This creature was a beast. Humans and beasts. At first, humans and beasts were friendly with each other. But while the beasts revered nature and the old ways, the humans were too innovative. It was the beasts who first discovered the creatures called chimchims. When the beasts saw the light of the gods in the chimchims, they decided to revere them as a legacy of the gods. But the humans captured the chimchims to research them, and, after discovering a way to extract the energy from them, used them to invent steam machines. The beasts protested this treatment, but the humans did not listen. As the humans used steam technology advanced, they abandoned magic as old and obsolete. The beasts continued to revere magic culture and rejected steam technology. Humans scoffed at the beasts for being stubborn and small-minded, and the beasts came to despise human foolishness. Eventually, the beasts decided they could not leave the gods' rebirth to the fools who proclaimed that they would participate in the... What? Eventually, the beasts decided that they could not leave the gods' rebirth to the fools, and proclaimed that they too would participate in the gods' rebirth. Falset granted them participation. Humans were outraged. They believed that the gods' rebirth was their right. The two sides' antagonism towards each other began to deepen, and finally war broke out. Humans gathered their armies and steam weapons, but found their weapon production was lagging behind. Desperate, they built a great factory of Breg Epona, but they still were unable to create necessary weapons. Beasts were mighty in the ways of magic, but small in number. They were unable to marshal enough army. Humans were weaker, but more numerous. Beasts were stronger, but fewer in number. The war continued to wage on. 3 dogmas. Eventually, both humans and beasts grew tired of long years of war. However, neither side was able to strike a decisive blow, and none knew a way to stop the cycle of wars and bring the entire gruesome conflict to an end. In this never-ending cycle, a new faction was born. Composed of both humans and beasts, the new faction concentrated on pure pursuit of power and incorporated the crest technology derided by humans and the steam technology loathed by beasts. Both humans and beasts feared this new faction would enter the war, and each side sent emissaries to the other and called for a ceasefire. At first, both races were hesitant, but they were forced to accept the sheer toll brought on by the war. And so the war between the two races ended, but the conflict continued. Beasts continued to insist on participating in the gods' rebirth, and the new faction proclaimed their participation as well. Humans chanted for steam technology and innovation. Beasts were crest technology and tradition. And the new faction for the pure pursuit of power. They began a quiet, colder war. No winner was decided in this war, since no gods were born from any of these forces. The three-way war smoldered, and in time factions came to be called the following: Arvikov the Innovators, Ogmios the Conservatives, Chuitates the Pursuers. To this day, three-way war knows no end, and it quietly drives the world closer to its doom. Citing. Player characters. Humans. They are an ancient race said to be the true descendants of the elves. Many humans have a tendency to look down on the beast tribe because of their primitive way of thinking and technology. The animosity between the two races have caused strife in the past. All humans have very average abilities, parameters, and are capable of doing just about anything. They are highly adaptable and able to handle all kinds of obstacles that face them. Beasts. Beasts are a race of creatures with the body of an animal, the body of a human and the head of an animal, and tail of an animal. They place a high value on the technology and culture from ancient times and tend to resist innovation. As a result, steam technology has yet to spread in their cities. Beasts are separated into 3 tribes that differentiate by their appearance and abilities. Although these beasts possess amazing abilities and skills in some areas, they are extremely vulnerable in others. They pose fierce united fronts with their tribe and overcome vulnerabilities. Tribes. Beasts are roughly divided into the following 3 tribes. Ya tribe. Beasts of the Ya tribe are fairly large-bodied, though they have bodies as hard as steel and are capable of resisting physical damage. They have limited understanding of magic and are highly vulnerable against magic attacks. Lei tribe. Beasts of the Lei tribe possess bodies similar in proportion to humans and have quick reflexes and speed. Unlike humans, they have average physical and magical abilities and are slightly less resilient. Two tribe. Beasts of the two tribes are smaller than the others. They are highly sensitive and possess great magical abilities and wisdom, but their bodies are much more fragile and possess no resistance to physical attacks. Punt them. Punt the little guys. Gods and goddesses. The gods and goddesses created the world long ago. Most were slain in past wars. Only 2 of them have been confirmed to exist to this day. God of Law Falset. Falset guards the Margobaro Wall that blocks the heavenly path. It is said that only those who are worthy can open the gates and enter the land of the gods, the city of Dawn, Erseltre. Cernunnos, the Lord of the Dead. Cernunnos was defeated by his older brother Sol, the god of creation, and was sealed in the kingdom of the dead. Refusing to recognize his own death, Cernunnos appealed to his brother 7 times to be brought back to the land of the living. All 7 times his pleas were denied. Why? Furious, he led his army of the dead against Erseltre, the city of Dawn, in order to force Sol to return his soul back to his body. But when he tried to cross the lake of the dead world of Indiglet Lu, the root of the white giant tree Ladgud came down and blocked his path. Cernunnos was forced to return to the kingdom of the dead. It is said that Cernunnos still plots to return to the land of the living and rule over it. Monsters in the world are said to be his pawns. You look so pretty in that artwork. Vital Vistas. Vital Vistas are machine dolls created by Steam technology and created as domestic servants by humans. They have high dexterity and are capable of operating complex devices that even humans have difficulty with. They are equipped with self-awareness equal to that of a child and are able to judge matters on their own. Recently, some Vital Vistas have come to possess self-awareness very close to humans. They become self-sufficient and started to disobey commands issued by their masters. Some now live independently in towns and have jobs. More and more humans are now worried that eventually the Vital Vistas will revolt against them. Lol. Grunties. Grunties are famous for their triangular hats and their distinctive speech. They were cursed by Sol, the god of creation, and turned into Buchipongo and became beasts of burden for animals. However, they assumed their original form when humans defeated the gods. They are often entrusted to managerial positions of important facilities and assigned as secretaries to VIPs due to their peaceful nature and excellent communication abilities. Chim-chims. That is not what they look like. Chim-chims are the only creatures that are able to produce chim spheres, a raw material needed to utilize steam technology. Most chim-chims are quite timid and tend to flee when they encounter other races, but some are more aggressive in nature and will attack other races they may encounter. Elves. Elves are a race that died out long ago. They are said to be the ancestors of all humans and beasts. Wow. Spirits are tiny sprites that inhabit streams and forests. Magic skills harness their power. Factions. The three main factions currently oppose each other in the world. Arvok, the humans, Ogmios, the beasts, and Teutates, comprised of humans and beasts. The three forces sometimes fight and sometimes cooperate with each other in a three-way war. Arvok of the Innovators. With their steam technology and innovative way of thinking, the Arvokov are represented by a symbol of the shining sun. Centered around the internal city of Makanu and the dual city of Bright Epina, they are led by a man named Ishmael. Although directly opposed to the Ogmios, they exchange steam technology with the Teutates in exchange for help with weapon manufacturing. Ogmios the Conservatives. Composed of beasts with their crest technology and conservative ways, Ogmios is represented by a great gate and a magic circle. Centered around the celestial city of Daldana, they were led by a woman from the Tu tribe named Bipu Bapu. Bipu Bapu! They directly oppose the Arkov, and they exchange crest technology with the Teutates in exchange for manpower. That's a cute design. That's some very poofy hair. Teutates the Pursuers. Teutates are a mixed force of humans and beasts with a pure hunger for power. Their symbol is the roaring lion and staff. Centered in the warring city Lumina Cloth. Oh, that's their place, huh? Their leader is a young human named Al-Azif. They receive steam technology by manufacturing weapons for the Arkov, and receive crest technology from the Ogmios, providing military support. Adventurers! Adventurers are a mercenary force formed by the Teutates. Most adventurers join small-scale war bands called guilds and work from within them in exchange for being allowed to use space in at-home or borrow bikes. Adventurers in guilds promise to support Teutates. Also, guilds that contribute greatly to Teutates are given the right to use one of the three castles owned by Teutates. Among the adventurers are some who wish to rise to the top of the Teutates and perform the gods' rebirth themselves. Threats. There's more! Monsters that are controlled by the shadow that lurks outside of root towns. Most monsters disappeared when the 6 great spirits and 2 goddesses were victorious over the shadow, but they begin to increase in strength after the humans destroyed the gods. Ogres. Goblin Rookie. Goblin Rookies are goblins that have been just appointed to their duties. They have not received much training and are unable to guard against enemy attacks. With physical abilities much lower than veteran warriors, they are easily defeated. However, they are still warriors and can easily overpower an adventurer by sheer numbers. Gun Giant. Gun Giants are monsters with large cannons on their arms. Their blindness allows them to have exceptional hearing. They can detect even the faintest sound from their intended target. Despite their large size, they are agile and can jump up and fire over wide areas. Demons. A large demon-type monster. Its face has no eyes, ears, or nose, just a gaping mouth. It swings its large arms to attack its opponents. It is a lower-class demon monster, but a large ring of light on its back hints that the purpose at one time used to be a divine creature that for some reason was reborn as a demon. Experts are currently investigating the possibility. Sea monsters! Spearfish. Oh yeah, angelic gore. That's what that one is called. The spearfish gets its name from the long horn on its forehead and the swimming motion it makes while gliding through the air. Its elastic horn and skin are favored as alchemy materials. Some adventurers even hunt them exclusively for this purpose. Supernaturals. Vok jugular. Oh, jugglers. Vok jugglers are created when swords that were left behind on the battlefield are possessed by the souls of dead soldiers. Since they were first inanimate objects, some scholars believe that they are not technically classified as monsters. It is believed that the dead souls do not realize they are dead and will stay on this earth until the swords they possess are broken. It is also said that Vok jugglers, will suck souls of those who have been struck down by its blade. Because of this, even seasoned adventurers hesitate to find this monster. Avians! Ravenclaw. Sure. Ravenclaws are bird monsters with one leg and beak divided into 4 parts. Weird. Although they have 3 eyes on their head, they suffer from poor vision. They normally feed on large monster carcasses, but may hunt other prey in packs during mating season. Plant. Crumpled tree. The crumpled tree is a gigantic monster that looks like a tree stump. Yeah, I guess. It has a large face on its side and is said to communicate through facial expressions. Though it has a mouth, it is only used to convey its facial expression. The tree is in fact capable of speech. Its branches, leaves, and trunks are used in alchemy with virtually no wasted parts. It is difficult to tackle this monster as a solo player. It is advised to attack it within a group. Demon beasts. Vok Fang. Vok Fang are dog-shaped monsters with enormous teeth. Yeah, they kind of look more like lions to me, but sure. They were once stray dogs that were abandoned by their owners and transformed into monsters by the power of the shadow. They harbor deep anger towards humans who abandoned them. Although they seem to be proficient in physical attacks, they are also versatile in magic attacks and have power of the charms that surround their manes. It is recently discovered by an adventurer that these charms were not created by the shadow, but instead were purposefully placed on them by an individual. The culprit is still unknown at this time. Both Ogmios and the Teotates are still investigating. Mecha beasts. Steam shell. Steam shells are magical weapons that were left behind after being used in the war between humans and beasts. They were transformed into monsters by the shadow. The monster systematically attacks without any emotion. It is one of the most hated monsters by adventurers. Ogmios have repeatedly requested that the Arvax take responsibility for the steam shells, but so far the Arvax have evaded answering them and only said that they are looking into the situation. Dragons! That's a seahorse. Fever horse. Fever horse gets its name from its head, which is shaped like a horse. I guess. It used to be a small creature that dwelled in the ocean. Oh, so it acknowledges it's a seahorse. But after it became infected with the power of the shadow, now lives on land. This also resulted in a massive increase of its body size. It is known as Fire Lancer by some adventurers due to the powerful fire attack it launches with the power of the orb hidden in its chest cavity, as well as the quick piercing attack from its spear-shaped exoskeleton. Yeah, you can see the spear things dangling off its back and its weird tendril things. Crustaceans! Ruby Cutter. The Ruby Cutter is a giant crab with a human face. Debatable. It is said that even cats avoid the corpses of ruby cutters due to their ugly appearance, foul smell, and rotten taste. Although their shells make an exceedingly good alchemy material, they are avoided by most adventurers because of the resulting putrid odor. Hecaton foot. Oh, I like those guys, they're kind of cute. The Hecaton foot may look like a rhinoceros. Does it? But originally it was actually a turtle that had turned into a monster by the shadow. Its head is covered in a sturdy shell that has the power to pulverize trees and rocks in a single blow. Normally, Hecaton foots are quite docile, but if they are attacked, they will retaliate and attack anything around them. The rampages are very violent and too much for warriors with light armor and clerics. To be fair, sneezing on a cleric will kill them. I am not done with that. Whoops. Jobs. During your initial character creation, you will select a job of that character. Character jobs cannot be changed afterwards. Twin Blades. Twin Blades have high agility and attack with 2 swords. Their rapid attacks leave no opening for an opponent to counterattack. Blade Brandier. Blade Brandiers fight with a sword similar to a katana. You say so, it just looks like a sword to me. But it is said all warrior classes derive from this class. Although their abilities are average, they can adapt to a wide variety of situations. Edge Punisher. Edge Punishers are a job class that prefer to wield giant swords. A blow from one of these weapons has enormous power. It can slice most enemies in half with a single stroke. Lord Partisan. Lord Partisans wield a giant lance. No other class can match their piercing power. They have high defensive power compared to other classes, but are weaker against magic. Tribal Grappler. Tribal Grapplers use their fists as weapons. They have high agility similar to Twin Blades and possess high HP. However, their low defense value makes it crucial to pay attention in battle. Flick Reaper. Flick Reapers wield a giant scythe. They specialize in attacks meant to keep multiple enemies away. However, they are ineffective at long range. So are most things. Steam Gunners. Steam Gunners use steam guns that were developed by humans. They specialize in long-range attacks and are weak to close encounters, but their powerful weapons will keep most enemies away. Adept Rogue. Adept Rogues are eventually capable to equip various weapons and use all sorts of magic. However, each weapon must be learned separately, which requires a considerable time investment. Even so, this training will eventually pay off, making them highly adaptable in any situation. Harvest Cleric. Harvest Clerics are experts in healing magic and are allied with the Light Spirit. They wield a staff in battle in the name of Air, the goddess of tranquility. They can use some attack magic after they reach a certain level, but most concentrate on healing and support magic. Shadow Warlock. Shadow Warlocks are experts in attack magic and are allied with dark spirits. They always carry a book of spells known as a grimoire to heighten their magic power. Although they can use some healing magic, their repertoire is limited and not very efficient. Macabre Dancer. Macabre Dancers are experts at status and ability magic. Since they are allied with both light and dark spirits, they are proficient in healing and attack magic. They hold large fans in both hands during battle. Their dancing form is said to enchant those who watch. I am finally done with reading all that. God damn.